Is going on, guys? Welcome back to the rundown. We are back. Thank you for being here, everybody. Now, just to kick this off, I thought I'd give a quick rundown of the rundown. This is going to be my intro from now on. If you're joining for the first time, just to let everybody know that this show we do a breakdown of it, whether it be TV or film. We go through slides throughout the film or TV and discuss about the things we enjoyed, we didn't enjoy, theories, and so on. So, if you haven't seen us before, this is a live interactive show, so we encourage you to join the chat. If you don't know where the live chat is button, just have a look on YouTube there. Click the live chat, join in, say hello, come join it. You'll get your comment read, hopefully, most likely, and join the family, guys. We're super excited about this one. We are beginning our journey into The Last of Us. Now, I know I'm super excited for this. Anthony, I know you're super excited for this. He wouldn't shut up about it backstage. He was so excited, couldn't contain himself. Once he got his hat set, and he chose out of his many thousands of hats that he has, we are ready to go. So, Anthony, how are you, kind sir? Now that
Yeah, dude, I'm tired after yesterday because we did the stream yesterday. It's late for me, so I'm kind of tired. And then I was looking for Ellie because I had Joel set up, and then I thought I was doing fine, but I wanted to use the Ellie knife because she seemed really attached to it in the first episode, but I can't find a hand to to fit the knife, so now I'm sad again.
Anthony's sad. Okay, guys, we're going to need to cheer him up. Now, before we kick into it, I'm going to address the chat and also address probably a hot topic of conversation right now. I don't have my jacket on for Jacket Pros, and I do apologize. That is because it is extremely hot over here right now, and I'm already sweating. I do have my jacket behind me, so it's here right behind me. Don't worry, Anthony. I know that upset you, but the jacket is here. It's good to go. Before we kick into it, yeah, we've got to cheer Anthony up today. I think Sia Dream was asking for some chocolate chip cookies, so maybe we need to get Anthony some.
Maybe
we need to tell your employees at the toy store to get you some milk and cookies, sir.
Yes.
Alrighty, so let's see who's in the house. We know Often Studios, Spanner Boy is in the house. Thank you for being here, sir. As always, ready to go. Empire Strikes Again, welcome back, mate. Welcome to the family. I hope you're excited to see this. He says that he's never played the game before, but the first episode was fantastic. Well, Empire Strikes Again, I can tell you I never played the game, so I'm coming at this show and judging it as a show. I'm not going to refer. I did think about going back and watching clips of the game, and I talked to Often about it, and we were going to add clips in from the game and compare it to the show. But then we decided to go down the route after some wise words from Anthony that it might be better to come at it from an angle of just judging it as a TV show. So we're going to take this as a TV show. So don't worry if you haven't played the game. I think it's relevant to just judge it as a show. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, specifically so we don't spoil things from the game, because that's not fun for people who haven't played the game, because we're going to have two types of viewers. There's the viewer who didn't play the game and the ones that did. The ones that did will know most of the story, and because a lot of the dialogue even is literally from the game. So if you've played the game, you'll know most of what's going on. They added some cool stuff and some background, but let's just see it as a TV series.
Yeah, well, I can tell you right off the bat, not knowing what happens, this show hit the heartstrings. We all know I like to cry. There was nearly a tear forming in the eye, as I'm sure there was for Anthony this time, even though he knew.
Almost.
Almost. So I'm super excited to talk about it. What's up, Sia? Thanks for being back, brother. We got AJ in the house, channel member. Thank you, sir. Hello, friends. Hope today is going well. Today is going fantastic to begin. It's the beginning of Lunar New Year. Juk Mang Namoy, as we say, as my wife and her family say in Vietnamese. Look at me. Look, I'm cultured. Okay.
Yeah.
So just watch out. So happy! It's the year of the rabbit. Watch out! Things are happening. S-Beam in the house. Sleeping Beauty, Working Beauty. Hopefully he's not working tonight so we can join the conversation. What's up, brother?
Could be
Thank you
cool.
for being here. Another channel member. Absolute legend. Figure posting channel, have you got a dead cat as a show? Dead cat,
Damn, why? Damn it, why?
bro. Why?
Not today. Not today, often.
He's just throwing in random stuff. Lukagi's back. What's going on?
Welcome back.
Lukagi's been sending hilarious things on Insta. Hilarious. Killer Flower, who knew, says The Empire Strikes Again. I have actually a good point to show about that. Bear with us as well. Let us know if the internet plays up today, because I think a lot of people were having problems with StreamYard yesterday, from the sounds of it. So hopefully it was StreamYard and not my internet, because then I don't know how to fix it. Often says S-Beam, Selvig Beam. Oh, Selvig Beam is actually a really good... Often, you've just hit the nail on the head. Maybe he keeps trying to say Skarsgård because he's trying to throw us off. We see you. We see you, Selvig. We can help with that. Who else? Often, it's show business only. Going to let the show must go on without the jacket. Yes, I must go on with the jacket. Okay. You know what? I'll slide it on. Look, it's here. The quick access.
Oh, there you go again.
Okay.
Sound's chopping up again.
Already see my internet plan.
Damn. Freeze.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Freeze. S-Beam says, what a first great episode. And what a first episode, sorry. Very impressed with how they added and changed and took straight from the game. Can't wait to see what else they do. Hashtag Working Beauty. Hashtag Skarsgård for life. Hashtag Selvig is Skarsgård. Just turn it around the other way. Skarsgård is Selvig. Have a great show, guys. You bet. How dare you work? How dare you work? Look, just sell hardcore drugs. You don't have to work at this time. You can work whenever you want. Right?
You
and
know
buy
how
more hot
we
toys.
do.
You know how we do. Oh, there it is. He got him. Often's already ahead. Oh, come on, internet. Hold on for us, baby. Hold on. Butch, what's going on, Butch? Another channel member. What up, guys? Hey, I was totally clueless this was a cannibalistic style episode. I hate zombies, lol. We're going to put on my big boy pants and try watch the series. Keep those big boy pants on, Butch. You got this. We're here for you.
Seems worth
We'll
it.
protect you. Yeah, we'll protect you. I'll send some cold over to you from my area. Yeah, AJ's got enough to go around.
Yeah.
You're freezing and I'm boiling. It was so hot yesterday. I nearly, we literally, when it gets so hot, you just don't do anything but sit in aircon.
Damn.
Like you
I
don't even
literally
wanna go
walked through
outside.
snow today, like a couple of hours ago.
For real. Wow. I think it got up to 40 degrees for us. 40 degrees. That's the type of hot where you can't walk outside with bare feet if you're walking on the ground that has the sun's been hitting. Is it burn your feet?
Yeah.
That is for sure.
That's hot.
Do you think he calls those lasers on his ship Selvig beams? I think he should. I think he should, bro. Lukagi, man, you're hilarious. And often says it's -3 Celsius at the moment for you. The struggles we have. Well, let's start getting into it because I'm super excited and we don't know how the internet's going to play for us today. Hopefully it holds up, or StreamYard or whatever it is. I'm going to make a complaint if StreamYard keeps playing up like this. I'm going to write a letter to the manager. I'm going to Karen it up.
Free StreamYard.
Yeah. No, I pay for StreamYard, bro.
Oh, okay.
I'm about to
Then you can
upgrade
complain.
too
You
to
can complain,
professional model, bro. Damn. Yeah, complain. Professional is $50 a month.
Damn.
That's $600 a year. That's a figure.
It is.
That's like
600
That's like a
Aussie.
Spider-Man for me.
It's like 250.
Yeah, Australian dollars. Yeah. F you, Josh. Okay, we're actually kind of warm. We're actually kind of warm for the area, right about 1 degree Celsius here. Wow. Hot damn. No one go out there trying to save people with snowplowers, please. Do not do that. Okay, so Anthony, do you want to give a quick, brief thought to the episode? You've played the game after you lied to me and said you didn't, so now I know that you have. Actually, do you want to show everybody your Joel figure and your Ellie figure? Should we zoom in on you
Oh,
real
no,
quick
yeah,
and
it's
show
fine. It's fine. I
everybody?
showed it yesterday, but
'Cause this-
yeah. So this is the CC Toys. Joel.
I've got to
from,
zoom in on
part 2.
because this is
Oh,
the
yeah,
greatest
you can
kid
zoom.
bash ever.
You can zoom. You can zoom.
We got to do it.
And it's
we gotta do
the Chrome Mando head sculpt,
Boom.
and it's the seamless arms from what is it? World Box, and it's the Ellie from part 2. So that's my Joel and Ellie. I'll get them
That
up here
is
for
phenomenal.
the rundowns.
I've already told Lani that I need to have this in my life, and she's agreed that I do. You may get something in the mail from her. I don't know. I would shake it
Is it powder?
and maybe get it
is it
checked before you
fungi?
open it. Yeah, it could be.
Is it
fungi.
flour? Is it flour?
It could be flour. It could be flour. I do want to touch on that, and we'll probably
Flour's
touch on that at the start of this episode. Don't leave us, S Beam.
Oh man,
Totally not
Was-
so big beam.
I
Come on.
I really forgot.
Bootstrap
Was
Bill.
Skarsgård was he Bootstrap Bill? I didn't know. I need to watch that again.
Skarsgård, Bootstrap, Selvig, Luthen.
I didn't know. I'm going to watch Pirates of the
damn.
Caribbean again.
You're gonna have to. Yeah, he is. He's Skarsgård was
Oh, dude.
yeah.
That's so
Come on,
funny. Bootstrap Bill.
come on, come on.
Bootstrap Bill.
Can you put the Grogo head on Ellie? We've got a request from Lakagi. Lakagi, you sent me the picture of him and transporter, right? Transporting Grogu, transporting Ellie. I love it. Now, I do want to quickly let everybody know before we kick into this, because we do like to talk film and TV on this show. Just briefly, I started watching a film last night. I didn't get to finish because I'm an old man and I have to stop films halfway when it gets too late. But we started watching. I'm in Pedro Pascal mode. Okay, we started watching The
okay.
Unbearable Weight of what is it? The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent or something with Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal.
haven't
Let us know
seen
in the
it.
chat if
Haven't
you've
seen
seen that. I'm just putting it out there that it may be one of the greatest movies of all time. I'm highly recommending this film if you want to watch a crazy comedy. It's Nick Cage as Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal as his biggest fan, who is also one of the most ruthless gun-running lords in the world.
Oh, I need to
and
see
we're about
that.
halfway
I need to
through.
see that.
We're about halfway through, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Nick Cage as Nick Cage with Pedro Pascal. You can't go wrong. I reckon Lani kept looking at me like, what are you making me watch? It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
What service is it on?
See, Empire Strikes Again. It's on Binge for me. Binge. This is an Australian streaming service. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll need to check that.
This film was hilarious. It is. See, Empire Strikes Again. You know, we're best friends now. He knows it was hilarious. Pedro is hilarious in it. Nick Cage is Nick Cage. Obviously, it's one of the best roles I've seen him in a long time, playing himself. It's so good.
Is it an old movie or a new one?
It's new. It came out last year. Because the movie. Lakagi says the movie is awesome. The Nick Cage Easter eggs are great. Oh man, you'll be laughing your
I need
ass
to
off.
see it.
It is
I
freaking.
need to see that.
The CIA gets Nick Cage to go undercover. It's freaking. It's the best.
Yeah, don't
as
spoil
himself.
anything. I need to see it. I need to
Yeah,
see it.
that's it. That's no spoilers. It's just that's it.
Yeah. As we're on the subject of other content, I've been enjoying the Bad Batch a lot since last week and this week,
Ooh.
because they're focusing more on the individual clones instead of the clones as a group or Omega. It's very cool. I think it's the best 2 episodes of the Bad Batch ever. I know that's
Ooh.
not saying anything, but they're cool episodes, especially not this one, but the last one.
Very cool.
And I've been enjoying Willow less and less, but I'm still watching Willow because I need to see Waleed's dad in action. That's hilarious. Waleed's dad is hilarious there.
You're literally just watching for Waleed's dad. That is awesome.
Yeah. You need to see it as well. Just
Empire Strikes
look at
Again.
one episode, and you'll see Waleed's dad.
Okay, I'll have to do it. I'll make sure I do it. I'll see if Mila wants to watch it. Yeah. All right, that's it. Enough with the pleasantries. We're going to kick this off. We've got 20 slides that we're going to go through. Again, judging this as a show. Now, we can discuss, I'm happy to discuss references to the game because me and Anthony have also been listening to a podcast for The Last of Us that airs each week. So we can refer to that. And feel free to throw that in the chat as well. And if you see any things that relate to the game, I did go through because I was planning on adding things from the video game. So I know there's things from the video game that match up in this episode. But judging it as a show, I knew nothing that was going to happen, and it blew me away. So we also have a special rating system for the end of the show too.
Yeah. So normally we do theories and stuff. Don't go too much into theories because theories aren't theories anymore if you've played the game. So that's a part of the rundown we won't be doing this series, I guess. And about the podcast, because you put me on the podcast, and it's a very cool podcast. It's the two showrunners of the series, Neil Druckmann, who's like the co-CEO of Naughty Dog, who actually made the first game, and Craig Mason. He was just like a fan of the game, and he wanted to make the game into a movie. And they, I wanted to say hooked up, but often is here, so I won't say hooked up. They came together to make the series, and you can actually see that they love the game. Both of them love the game and do the game justice. They managed to put the feeling of the game literally 100% into the series, and add some more background. And they talk about every episode right after the episode has been aired. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Or if you can't spend the time to check it out, we'll just touch on it over here.
Yeah, for sure. And it's hosted by the guy who voiced Joel. So it's even more intertwined into, which I really love. That's one with Troy often. Yeah. Often also says Meryl Dandridge is a G. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So we kick off with this interesting intro, and the podcast really delves into the intro too, which I quite enjoyed about how they brought this about. Because me, again, not knowing anything about the game, watching this really intrigued me because I've seen what this type of fungi does to ants and things. I've seen that on nature shows before. And I found that grounding it in real world possibilities, I found quite interesting. So I was hooked, intrigued right off the bat. Two great actors there as well. That's the guy in the middle he was in, what was it? Just recently with John Cena, the Peacemaker show. He was in Peacemaker recently. Yeah, as the sheriff, and that's then the dude on the left, cool. I can't remember his name, but he was from The Mummy, one of our favorite movies, the original Mummy. John Hannah, that's it, John Hannah. And Spartacus, he was from Spartacus. AJ agrees. He says the intro was really well done, and The Mummy, the original Mummy film with Brendan Fraser, one of our favorites. Yeah, that was classic.
This is new, as opposed to you don't get this in the game, but it provides a cool bit of backstory, and also it ties into real world, kind of with COVID, because when you see this, you think it's going to draw a parallel to COVID, but then they say, viruses, they're no big deal. Fungi are a big deal. And the cool thing is that they know in advance that it's a real possibility and a real threat, just like we do at the moment. And they tie it into global warming because they say if the temperature rises, other fungi might dominate and
adapt.
And grow.
Yeah. That really got me hooked. In the podcast, they actually talk about how they were thinking of showing the footage of what the fungi does to ants and animals and stuff like that, but they thought it was too boring and decided to go for this. I'm glad they went for this instead because I think this really drilled it home. And the fact that they did it in the 60s, I found quite interesting as well, instead of making it so new, I guess. What we didn't ask as well, is there anybody in the chat who hasn't played the game as well? Just so we're aware. Let me know in the chat if you haven't played the game. I saw the game but never played it. but yeah, I thought this was a great intro. It sets the scene because I didn't know it was fungi at all that had anything to do with it. So that
Mm,
pretty much it's a layup for you. If you don't know, it lets you know right off the bat what's going to happen, which is quite smart and not. It was handled perfectly. I think wasn't done
yeah,
in a way
yeah.
where it makes you feel like an idiot. For sure, it's Big Head from Silicon Valley says often. Is that the guy who's doing the interview? He played a good douchebag, that's for sure. Then we go from there, and the story is set basically. Then we come to our father and daughter. This is where it hit home for me because I'm a father of a daughter, and I loved this relationship. Do we ever learn? I mean, I don't know if we touch on it, but there's no mother around, so I'm assuming the mum's
Hmm.
gone or passed away. So I found that interesting at the start, that it's just a father and daughter scenario. But right off the bat here, was it 1993? I think it cut to, or was it 2003?
Yeah,
2003,
yeah.
I think 2003. I noticed he had like an old school phone, so it made me think it was 93. But when did iPhones kick
No,
in?
2003. Yeah.
Yeah, when did iPhones kick in? Do we know anybody? Because no iPhones here. I thought that was interesting. I don't know why I thought that, but noticed that. But um, he had the old
Yeah,
school
because
phone. It made me
iPhones are
think it was
crap.
93. Hey. Well, smartphone then. I played the first one, AJ says, but now I'm about to start the second one. Nice.
Yeah.
2007-ish. Okay, so it was before still. Fair enough. Thank you, often. So what do you think of this sequence? This is we actually learn quite a bit here, Anthony. You hear the radio, Jakarta, Tommy comes over, so we meet Tommy. I want to kind of delve into the thing about Jakarta because I think that's a little hint of what's to come without
Hmm.
knowing when you're first watching it. What do you
Yeah.
think of this whole
Yeah.
sequence?
Well, there are more hints. I don't know which hints you're going to.
Do you just want me to say it and then we can
But
touch on it?
yeah, just say it and we can touch on it. And but first of all, the first game was so long ago that I forgot about Sarah, and so that is a difference if you've played the game or not. I didn't even remember Sarah, so I knew that she wasn't a big part. Just when after I've seen this scene, I thought, oh yeah, that's how it begins. But when you play
Yeah.
Sarah in the game, you're just getting used to the controls first. So you're much more focused on getting the controls down than on the story. This was different. This focused really on the father-daughter relationship, and Neil Druckmann and Craig Mason also said this is not a story about zombies; it's a story about love.
Yeah.
And it's a story about the good side and the bad side of love. And you've seen this theme; you'll see it played out repeatedly. So that's what made this series very differently because you get to see this part through Sarah's eyes, and you get to know her a lot more than you did with
Yes.
Sarah number one in the game. So that was fun.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a surprise what happened, of course.
Yeah, well, it was for us. It was for me and Lani. Like when I watched it, I'm thinking, do they get separated? I'm thinking all these different. I had no idea that was going to happen. So as I feel like they did such a good job for a new audience because we get attached. I was attached to her already. I was loving her portrayal already. Like she's basically looking after her dad. Essentially, that's the impression that you get.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? That she's looking after him. I like what often says here, an apple a day keeps the fungus away.
It does.
So what I wanted to touch on here just quickly was one, that's Tandy Newton's daughter, if anybody didn't know. Once I learned that, I couldn't unsee it. She's a miniature version of Tandy Newton. Lani actually picked that up. I didn't think to check, and she's like, I know that she looks so familiar. And then she checked and was like, holy damn, that is. Now I see it. But I really loved the relationship. This is a theory I heard on another show. I forgot to put it in the link, and I forgot to put the other one in the link that you told me about too, Anthony, because I'm Iron Dory, and that's what I do. I forget things.
It's a trademark.
But
You should
it's
keep
a
it that
trademark.
way. You know, the moment that you start to remember things, I think the internet will break.
That's why she has a British accent. Yes, so often. Did I just know something that often didn't know? Woo!
I think he
Ric
did.
Flair in it.
Ric Flair.
Yes.
Ric Flair.
Chalk it up. I need a chalkboard.
But Bella Ramsey,
Things.
about the British accent, Bella Ramsey got rid of her British accent, and I think that she did that.
Yeah, she did a
Magnificently,
really
right?
good job. Really good job. Really, really good job. But they talk here about Jakarta. And the theory I watched, now I'm completely stealing this. I think it was from it's an English guy. He has a show on it. He's a massive fan of this, and he's going into theories. And I went down the rabbit hole of it. I'll try and remember it, and I'll mention it later when I if I can remember. But he talks about how they're having bacon and eggs for breakfast. That there's no pancakes.
Yeah.
Is that do you think that's relevant? Because again,
Yeah, of course.
having not
Yeah,
played the
yeah, of
game, I
course.
think that is
So-
relevant, right?
If you've watched I've watched this a second time because after watching the podcast, Neil and Greg say that if you watch this episode very closely, a lot of the stuff will be paid off later. So so I watched
Yeah.
it again, and then if you watch it again, you hear all the comments about not eating flour, with the Atkins, with the pancakes, with the raisin cookies. So yeah.
Very, very clever. Like, and because I went back and I've watched it twice again now. I actually was excited to go back and watch it again. That's how much I love
Yeah.
this show.
Yeah.
Watching it the second time with Lani, the whole time she's clutching my arm saying, just tell me what happens. Do they get separated? What's going on? Why isn't she in the poster? Like, she was going off. Like, she actually gets angry at me if I don't spoil it for her. Literally. So Empire Strikes Again says no pancakes, no cookies, no birthday cake, and
Yeah,
also
yeah.
often said no cake as well. Yeah, so I didn't realize the first time around that was such a big deal, that it could be in the flour, and that something happening in Jakarta in a hotter climate. Also heard things about this guy goes into the thing of them not having good food hygiene down there or whatever in the plant that makes a lot of the flour that distributes it out, and that could be where the outbreak happened or whatever. So very interesting. I found that very interesting. But we meet Tommy. Tommy's very yobbo-ish. He's a very he sounds, the way he talks, he's very type of I think in Australia we call him like a bogan-ish. I don't know what you call it in
Bogan.
America.
What's that?
Yeah, that's like what Tommy is, kind of like a.
Man, you know how educating this content is. This stream, we learned about gazelles.
Yep.
We learned about
Learn about
Tommy.
gazelles. Learn about bogans. Would that be a fair representation? The way Tommy sounds, he's very like, he's the type of guy that gets into a bar fight and gets locked up on the weekend. That type of guy.
Yeah,
Right?
could be. He could
Yeah.
be.
So that's what we call a bogan over here. They have a mullet shaved on the head, like, that type of drinking beers on the weekend. Apparently the largest flour mill is in Jakarta. There you go. Apparently the largest flour mill is in Jakarta. There you go. So that's why I think they brought it up. And I was a bit disappointed that Mando didn't know where Jakarta was. Now, I may refer to
Mando.
Joel as Mando every now and then, so I'm just putting it out there because he'll always be Mando to me.
Oh my god,
So like,
Oberyn.
so,
I like him as Oberyn best. I think
nah, see,
I think I've seen him as Oberyn for the first time.
oh man, it's
And it
not
was
his
his
fault
coolest
this
part,
time. You're
I
right,
think.
often.
Not his fault
Yeah.
this time.
I tell you, when you watch the one with Nick Cage, he'll be your new favorite character. Let's just put
maybe,
it out there.
maybe.
So we go from here. She takes the money from the. She takes his money to go fix his watch, which I didn't realize was going to play such a big part either. But this whole start sequence of the show, I think, is just done. It's the build up, right? The build up of seeing you hear the thing on the radio about Jakarta. You see fire trucks and cars going in the background. There's a lot of tension and build up at the start of this episode. For someone who's viewing it from the standpoint of having not played the game, it was very. Like I could feel the tension building, especially as we keep following Sarah's journey. Man, it was just done to perfection. When she's getting the watch fixed, do you want to add anything on this sequence here, Anthony?
No, not really. Just the fact that when the guy from the Middle East throws her out of the store, him and his wife, that's when the tension starts to rise. And
Yeah.
so that was funny.
Actually, there was a point of her in school where you see the light flickering, Do you think that was a kid twitching? That kid was twitching,
Yeah,
right?
you see people twitch all the time. You see the kid, you see the cop. And somewhere you see like this poster where it says symptoms of the infection and how long you have, and apparently an arm it'll just take so much hours. If you have
I
symptoms
actually
in the
have that
head,
photo
it'll
too.
just 15 seconds, 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that photo because I thought that'd be a good point to look at. But you see all these little signs that you may not notice the first time around. Like I didn't really notice I noticed the flickering, but I didn't think it was to do with potentially the virus at the start. It was watching it the
So
second
I
time that I
didn't.
was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the twitching I only saw that the second time. But the granny with her open mouth, that was the first
Yeah.
scary part, I guess.
Yeah, and that is the next picture I have actually. If we go to that, so this when she's at the actually no, did I have that part? Yeah. So I thought I got a picture of her actually twitching. I must have skipped that because I'm an idiot. But that whole sequence when she's looking on the bookshelf, the fact that they filmed that with her in the background out of focus was perfection, absolute perfection.
Yeah, so the first time that we see Granny, it triggered my PTSD of when I was a kid, and I was over at a family party, and there was a Granny just like that, and she was fed cookies as well, and but she couldn't eat very well anymore, and it was a chocolatey kind of cookie, so it drooled all over, and it was so gross. I didn't eat those types of cookies for a year.
Oh wow, this is PTSD.
Yeah, so that triggered it.
Damn.
So it was cool that she was fed the cookies, and afterwards she didn't want to eat the cookies anymore when she was being a fungus.
Damn, that's rough. Empire Strikes Again says, I completely forgot Pedro was in Wonder Woman 84.
Oh, yeah, me
yes,
too.
he was.
Me too.
Yes. Life could be good, but it could be better. That's one of the classics. And Narcos, let's not forget. Pedro is one of the greatest actors of all time. Let's just put it out there. I love him. I absolutely love Pedro. He's one of my favorite actors. That's it. I'm putting it out there. I did like that Sia says only $20, $30 then.
Okay,
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would do that. But
20 is
again,
fine.
this build up, this constant build up, like, oh man, like I really got attached to her at the start of the episode, and I think that's what they did so well. I was attached, thinking, how are they going to get? I started to think, are they going to get separated? What's going to happen? So I was fooled. They fooled me. We go from there.
Which was very well done, because normally seeing it through her eyes is like a technique to subconsciously attach the audience to a person which you wanted to feel as a filmmaker, because you want to raise the stakes, and then the hero survives everything, the protagonist, and she was kind of the protagonist in the beginning, and then they killed her off.
She was. Yeah, she really was. I mean, Pedro's nowhere to be seen in this after they drop her off at school. It literally follows her. What's often say here? Smartest character in the show is Mercy.
Yeah, she knows what she's seeing. That's not you.
Yeah.
That's just a big mushroom.
Even the look on the dog's face, like the dog's face is perfect. It's like what the hell is going on?
Are
I don't
those
know what's going on
spores?
with you. Yeah. Oh man, done so well, really done well. So I just took a picture of that because I thought that was really quite interesting. And then we come to here, where he gets home. It kind of portrays him as not as a bad dad, but as someone who's struggling to do everything, work, be a dad. And that's the impression I get. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, he
it's somebody
shares his parental responsibilities with his daughter. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, right. He's like, "Have you done your homework?" The look she gives him when he's like, "Have you done your homework?" and she just laughs at him.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be Mila with me. I literally feel like that's good.
I feel like that's Mila with you already.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm like, she roasted me too yesterday. Called my figures dolls, and I'm like, roasted me in front of the family. Absolutely roasted me.
Yeah.
She wants a dog, so my daughter wants a dog. She wants a what's it called? Pomeranian. So I went and had a look at how much Pomeranians are, because I have no idea. $4,000 for a Pomeranian.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
purebred. So I'm like, well, we've got to make sure you actually want a dog. You know what? And she literally in front of the family, she goes, "You need to save up, so no more dolls, no more Iron Mans." And I'm like, what? Completely
I would tell
roasted.
her to go find a sweatshop to work for those $4,000.
Straight up, straight up.
Yeah.
I think that's why I got so attached to Sarah. What's the word? I saw mirror image. Before I
Yeah. So
forget,
does
so
she
glad.
also steal your money to repair your stuff?
Not yet. She hasn't learned that yet. She
Okay.
thinks money's just magic that comes out of my phone or my
Oh,
card. Yeah.
maybe it is.
Before I forget, Gustavo. Look, I'm going to butcher this name. Came back for the show. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Let us know often. Let us know.
I think often is doing it on purpose.
Okay, cool. So, do you think the temperature triggered the event? Ooh, I think maybe. I mean, it could tie into global warming. I think that's important that he said that at the start, or whether
Yeah.
it's a convenient fact that you could use as a plausible way for the outbreak to start. Really,
Yeah.
to be honest, I think it's definitely
I think.
plausible.
Yeah, and I think it's just a cool tie-in with our global warming. But I think, yeah,
Yeah.
I think it did.
The guy did the music, and also yes, she does need a job. I'm going
Oh,
to tell her.
cool, cool. Gustavo.
Yep. Oh, also, I forgot. I'll mention it live on air because I think it's important. She's your biggest fan, Anthony. She loves your voice. She says you have the best voice on YouTube.
Who is?
So there you go, Mila. She loves your
Oh,
voice. She
damn.
said you've got. Yeah, she's your fan. You're her
Yeah, I
favorite
like that.
character on this show.
So she's coming from the Iron Legion to I don't know what to the toy shop.
Yeah,
She can be
Yeah.
my employee of the month.
yeah. She thinks you've got the best voice on YouTube. She goes, Anthony's voice is the best, but don't tell him. And I was like, I gotta tell him. He'll love it.
Total disregard for Dad.
Yeah, no one cares about Dad.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Get the Pig Opposing channel to 1K. Yes, often.
Oh,
Put
that
it
would be
out
cool.
there.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Hop over, subscribe to Anthony if you haven't done so. But back to this scene, she gives him the watch. I love the little joke that he pretends like, because that's such a cool. It shows you they have a good relationship. You do see that they have a good relationship, even though
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
probably struggling a little bit with work and holding everything down. It seems like, and I love their little joke about watching the movie together. The only difference is with that is I would be the one falling asleep as opposed to her falling asleep. Her falling asleep.
Yeah.
And be the other way around.
What's
Do
it
you want to
called
add
again?
anything else on this scene?
Bubba and Viper. Because
and
it
Viper.
sounds like the lamest action movie ever. I don't know what it's called again. And Viper.
Yeah, something with Viper.
That's what he's into.
That sounds about right. 80s action type of film.
Yeah.
When she says I sell drugs, hardcore drugs, I do know that that's from the video game. I did
Yeah,
say that.
literally. But
Literally
so
from
much
the
is
game.
literally from the game. So that's. I think the first episode for me was a bit more. I was more excited to see it because I really didn't know how much of the game would be in the series, and I think they've established that really a lot will be will be in the series.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like it because, again, I don't know what's what. So for me, for the viewer that hasn't played the game, we have no idea. It's just coming across as a good story. And I think the discussion is to be had is there's a lot of video game adaptations that don't come across well. So far, it seems that this is coming from people who've played the game. I'm hearing a lot of great reviews from people who have actually played the game. Which
Yeah, and I
is
think that's the difference
good to hear.
between people who just like to have a big franchise and create a movie, like The Last Jedi, or people who actually see the movie as their baby and create it.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you can see already the care that's been put in, knowing that HBO put all the money in it, listening to the podcast and hearing how it came about, how they got the director from Chernobyl, how he was ready to go for it. I love that story. I love stories like that. It's just like you've just got to ask the question. That's a great. If you listen to the podcast, it's a great lesson in life that you've just got to be willing to ask and to make the
Yeah.
play.
And because of the podcast, I have so much respect for the HBO executives, because the ending of episode 1 would be after Joel drops the kid in the fire to burn her.
Yeah.
And the execs at HBO said, nah, this really wouldn't make me come back to the series because it starts with carrying a kid and it ends with carrying a kid. So there's nothing to pull me back in. And then they made the pilot twice as long. And I think it was a really great decision. And it's cool to hear showrunners talk about their relationship with HBO in that. It's really a collaboration of people who really want this to work and make art, really.
Yes, great point, and I'm glad you touched on that because that's what I took away from the podcast too. I think I think one of the guys, I can't remember who it was, but he says that's how you want a relationship to be with the studio. That they're there to I'm losing the word, but they're there to be that guide rather than meddle.
Yeah.
They're there to say, hey, this is how we would see it. I think that was perfect. So these guys,
they're saying
like they know what's going on.
They're saying like the studio's exec should be like an audience, not like your boss.
That's right. Yes.
So they make comments as being the audience loving the series, not as bosses wanting to make money off of it.
Yes, and telling you what to do. It's more so a suggestion of, hey, this didn't work for us as a viewer. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So again, this is a nice little moment. Again, just to draw us in, make us love their... They did a great job of showing us how close they were in a very short amount of time. And then it goes to old shit kicking off when she wakes up and that whole sequence. I skipped some of those pictures because reference of time, because it was an hour and 20 minutes. So there was a lot of things I thought I could take a photo of. But her going into the house, seeing the guy on the floor, seeing the grandma. Now, I do hear that the way the grandma's killing them is new, right? That's not in the game. Is it? The way they have the tentacles coming out of the mouth? But very freaky nonetheless. It did give me vibes of the first Resident Evil game when you walk in. If anybody can remember the first Resident Evil and you see the zombie feeding on someone literally in the game, that's what I felt like when she came in. Just really freaky.
Yeah, it used to be like a neighbor, I think. But I don't know what's the next slide? Is it in the car or after the car?
The next slide is actually after he kills Granny, because I know these are two very close together sequences. Because there is something I want to touch on with this. So yeah, he takes her out, which I thought was pretty hectic as a massive wrench. This is where you start to see Tommy. Like I saw Tommy in this sequence as he's going to be ready to ride, like he's ride or die. I quite liked that too. I didn't realize he's the Terminator from one of the last Terminator movies. Did you know that?
Didn't realize either.
He's the Terminator from Terminator something, whichever one it was. Cool. One of the ones
Salvation,
that weren't so good. No, not that one.
I don't know.
One of the more Often, let us know in the chat. Often or no. That's OG Resident Evil at the mansion.
Resident Evil. That's so. The typewriter, the lint, the keys.
Yes.
First aid kit. You just spray it on your arm and you're healed again. Resident Evil is epic. Yeah.
I'll never understand why they never adapted Resident Evil to be exactly... If they had just made the movie just like the game, it would have been a fantastic movie. I'll never understand why they never went that route of the haunted mansion. Like, big mistake. They should take frickin' note from this show. Dark Fate. Green Herb. Look. And the green herb. That was
two green herbs, I think. And also red herb and green herb if you want to.
That's right. That's right. Yes,
Tommy gets around.
Ghost Rider as well. Yeah, Tommy does get around. But I wanted to touch on this. Jill Valentine's my girl. Nice. AJ says, was he the T-1000 in Genesis or the one in Dark Fate that split himself? I think often saying Dark Fate.
I don't know.
Yeah, we should have read the chat. Yeah, all good. You were all probably typing at the same time. Now, I do want to touch on this briefly because I think they talked about this in the podcast. I really liked that because I didn't notice it. How she reacts, right?
Yeah, I didn't notice the difference between her and Ellie's reaction
Mm-hmm.
only after the podcast, but
Yeah.
I was kind of pulled out of my own reaction after seeing Sarah, because when the neighbor got shot, it felt so normal to me, like that's the way you're supposed to do it. And when Sarah reacts like, "This is insane," then I thought, "Oh wait, yeah, it kind of is weird, right? To shoot your granny neighbor."
Oh, he hit
so
her.
maybe
He
I'm
hit her
not
with
that
the
normal.
with the wrench.
Oh yeah,
No, you're
yeah.
crazy.
So maybe I'm not that normal. Because it felt so logical to kill her.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw her killed. I mean, imagine what would have been going through the poor girl's head. You just seen this old granny who's never moved, like you've seen in a wheelchair, feasting on people and chase you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, often knows. Denise, get back and lock the door. She didn't listen, bro. If someone yells that and you've just seen them take someone out, get the fuck, like, you're gonna sort of walk over.
Denise.
Denise,
Yeah.
dumb dog. Damn. She got what was coming. But this, yeah, I love the difference. And again, I didn't notice until I watched the podcast. But the second time around, I did. She had the real reaction. The argument could be made for Ellie, as she doesn't know anything other than the world that they're in. So, of course, her reaction is going to be different, I would say. But
Yeah,
also...
it goes a lot further, and it goes back into the theme that they're going for. But we'll
the love
touch
that
on that.
he's... Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get
touch
to
on
it when we
that
get
a bit more.
there. Yeah. Now, I did skip the sequence photo-wise because I wanted to talk about this, but I did want to talk about the car chase. Well, not car chase, but the car sequence.
Yeah.
I was looking away every now and then, so I can't confirm. But can anybody in the chat or yourself? I felt from memory, I felt like it was one shot.
Yeah,
The
it
whole
was.
sequence
It
of
was
them,
one long
right?
shot, and
One
they touch
long
on
shot.
it on the podcast as well. And you know
Okay.
what the brilliant thing is? It felt exactly the same as it did playing the game. Because normally when you play a game and you're inside a car, you see it third person, or you have like full vision. And when you played the game and you were inside the car and you couldn't drive anywhere because there were people all over the place, it felt
Yeah.
so confined. I would almost say claustrophobic, but it's not. That's not it. It's just building tension and you feeling confined, feeling boxed in, and it felt exactly the same watching the series. So that was very cool.
Yeah. I love long shots and long sequences where they
Yeah.
do stuff like that. I thought that was amazing. And to see the plane crash like that, whoo, that looks so cool. It looked the way they did it was so well done. AJ says, seeing an old lady like that, I would have done the same thing. I'd go full Shaun of the Dead. That's a good movie too. Good
Yeah,
good
but
point, AJ.
Judging from Sarah's reaction, I might stop doing that. I'll need to rethink my ways with old women.
Yeah. Often says subtle teacher voice. Denise.
Denise,
Denise.
get
They
back in the
copied
house.
Hawkeye shot. Yeah, it is like the Hawkeye shot in the car,
was cool.
actually. Good point.
Oh.
That was also cool. Still one of the best is Daredevil to this day. Actually, one of the best long shots I've ever seen was the first season of True Detective. If anyone remembers, Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, one of the best one-shot scenes I've ever seen in that show. Go
And I
back
think
and check
Heat
that.
has them as well because it feels like that. It feels
Yeah.
very one-to-one.
Yeah, but this built the tension perfectly also.
Yeah.
Burning House, the street sign, the chaos on the streets, all straight out of the game. Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Even the lighting, because you had like the headlights where you could see where you could go, and you could see the surroundings. It felt the same. Really felt the same.
Only
Which
difference was they got
I can
T-boned.
imagine.
Mm.
Yeah, I can imagine that it's really hard to recreate it on different media like that.
I reckon.
Yeah.
I wanted to show this scene because I was trying to get a good shot of the zombie chasing them, because I love it when zombies are fast. And when he was crashing into everything, I just love how they did that, because that just it made it so much more scarier for me watching just this uncontrolled, like it couldn't control its body. It's just
Yeah.
the way the stunt guys portrayed it, I thought was really well done. Crashing into everything, jumping over everything. It showed that they were just psychotic, uncontrollable, and I really liked how they showed that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's what they're like later on in the show, because I don't know how how the things work, and I won't use the name, but
We'll see. We'll see.
yeah, I enjoyed how they portrayed the zombies. It reminded me of Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
And then the part comes where I started tearing up. I had to take it's a terrible photo, but that's what happens when you use an iPhone to take a photo off a computer screen.
No, it's fine.
This broke my heart. This broke my heart. I had no idea, guys. Is there anybody else in the chat who hasn't played the game that didn't know this was going to happen? Because I wanted to talk about this because I did listen to another podcast where they talk about, for people who knew what was going to happen, did this still hit home? Did this hit home for you guys? Like, was it still heartbreaking for like what it was for me, or because you know it's going to happen, did it cheapen the experience?
Really.
I kind of want to
really,
touch
because
on that.
I think if the dialogue hadn't been exactly the same, the feeling hadn't been exactly the same, and it didn't feel like the story was going to be exactly the same, then maybe, but no, not really.
And see, what about you guys in the chat? Did it hit home for you? Like, was it knowing that it's happening? Because I think this is a good discussion. If you already know what's going to happen, does it make it less of an experience? Because not knowing it happened, it like threw me, and I'm like, whoa, shit! Like I thought maybe they'd get. I hadn't seen her in the marketing, so I thought maybe they get. I'm thinking just like Lani thought, they're going to get separated, right? What's going to happen? Like, how are they going to find their way back to each other? And then you realize that she dies. You're like, wait, what's going on? That's literally what I felt like watching it for the first time. But a lot of the conversation I've heard of, that it was so well done that it didn't, you still felt it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's interesting that you didn't, knowing that it was going to happen, that it didn't, I guess, shock you as much, I guess, or did you connect
of course,
to it as much?
because you already know. It's like watching it the second time. And look, I can't say it's less of an experience, but it's a different experience because you already know the story. But this just harkens back to the period when I was playing the first game. So it was a very different experience, I guess, for you as opposed as it was for me. Because for me, it was more like, what would I have done if it was my daughter? Would I have just lugged her around even though there was nothing to save anymore? Because it felt like that's what you would do, right? Just bring her along anyway in the pickup truck.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of the game, so a bit less. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I think it's interesting. And what is so AJ says, yeah, it was well done, but after knowing what was happening, I was ready and it didn't shake me. Interesting, but you still enjoyed it, right? I guess you're getting the experience of getting to see what you've loved playing come to light. And I think that comes back to comic book films too, right? Because if you have comic book films, if the comic book films followed the comic word for word, line for line, storyline for storyline, I think the question is to be had, do you want it to be exactly the same? And this show, I think, is showing that you can do it exactly the same and still get a great reaction from the audience, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because people have watched it, still really enjoyed it. Figure Posing Channel doesn't have a heart. We all know this. Fair play. The Empire Strikes Again says, I knew it happened because of a dickwad. I love that word. Dickwad in work told me, but it didn't make it any less sad. Where does this guy live? You're a part of the family now, Empire Strikes Again. Where's this guy live? We're going to go. We're going to get the wrench. We're going to get Joel's wrench, and we're going for him. That's it. You need to, what you should do is take his lunch one day at work and hide it on him. That's what he gets. How dare he? Actually, no, I'm not condoning any violence or thing. Let's just clarify that we're live. Often has my back. No, you guys are heartless.
AJ has my back. AJ has my back.
AJ, you guys are heartless. Doxing Dory. Let's get this guy. Where is he?
Where is he?
I'm getting Batman. Where is he?
Let's go.
That's what you get. You don't mess with our guys. How dare you ruin it? How you going to go ruin it? I mean, I ruined the second game for Anthony yesterday because I heard about the second game. Oh, shit. I don't like knowing that either. That's annoyed me. I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, so I just thought it was an interesting topic. Does knowing what's going to happen make it less of an experience? I think this shows proving that it doesn't. So that's cool.
It's a different experience.
Yeah, a different experience. I'm just going to add the next set of slides because we're 10 in, we're 10 deep. I'm just going to add the next couple to kick this off. I did add all these slides from the start of the show for a reason because I thought there was a lot of good talking points from the start of the show. I just loved the first half of this show. I really did. It was just so well done. And I see now that it was originally going to be 10 episodes and it was split. I can see that now. But I will show you the bit that it goes up to. Where are we? Up to 16. Sorry about the dead air, guys. I'm just going to add a couple more. So we'll remove this one. Boom. Sad to see Mando crying. And then we come to the new world 20 days later. Let's just check the chat real quick. What's AJ say? He says, it's okay.
20 years.
Us villain Anthony's have to stick together. My first full name is Anthony too. Oh, shit. Anthony's a villain.
Yeah, and it's so egregious. It's so egregious that his surroundings they shorted it to AJ. It's like damage control.
Now I know you're actually a villain, Anthony. Who would have thought?
Yeah, it makes so much sense. It makes so much. Spanners. 6 out of 6 spanners.
That's what
that's the best one ever.
Damn
that's the best emoji ever.
That's great.
6 out of 6.
If you're in Australia, I'll ride or die with you, bro. Where you at? I'll come. We'll go take this guy out. take his kneecaps out. Imagine this poor guy. He's like walking out to his car. He gets jumped by a bunch of guys. He's like, you ruined Sarah's death for me. You ruined Sarah's death for me, you bastard. Just take him out. Who never snitch on what happens in a show again. Snitches get stitches, bro.
Snitches.
Damn. I could just imagine Empire Strikes Again at work every now and then just giving evil eyes to this guy whenever he sees him. Just like, you just made a mortal enemy and we got you back, bro. We will take this guy out. Oh no, 2 ants. Oh no, 2 ants got affected by ant fungus. Damn. Good point, often. I love that. And what are you saying? I guess hearing Anthony so many times in your life stones up a bit of the soul. Oh God.
I think that's it.
Damn. Yeah, nice. Okay, Lakagi saying, where you been, Lakagi? He says, even though I've played the game,
doesn't matter. He's back. That's the most important.
He's back. Yes, even though I'm still enjoying the show, they've done a great job. Good. So it's good to hear your point from it. That guy got run down. Renza's back in the house.
Got run down.
Not the channel member. That could be our name for when we take people out. You got run down. I love that, Renz. Renz just comes in and drops little jewels every now and then. Just pop, pop. I love that. Renz he's a quiet savage. He's got some really good comebacks.
He's a verbal savage.
You've got a fair way to travel. Wales and not the New South guy. Damn. Okay, so you're a fair way away.
Yeah, I'm close to Wales.
Anthony will have to go step up. Anthony's a freaking assassin, so he'll go help you. Don't worry.
I think I'm in the same time zone as Wales. I think. Maybe 1 hour difference at the moment. I don't know.
Damn.
I think so.
Okay. I've just got 3 more slides to add, so let's add this. Now, did anybody in the chat know? Let me put it out to the chat because I think me and Anthony know after listening to the podcast. Does anybody in the chat know where the first episode would have ended, or did you know that it was originally going to be 10 episode season instead of 9? And the fact that it's a 9 episode season is because of the feedback that Warner Brothers gave them. So let us know if you knew that, because I thought that was a cool little thing to find out. Definitely made sense once they said it. Okay, cool. All slides are there now. So we cut to 20 years later. I'll start talking until you guys let us know. Where are we? What's the chat saying? Thanks, Time Master. Okay, perfect. All right, so you start on a kid. Kid's walking into the city. How this kid has survived, I do not know to this point. But then he goes into the compound. So this is Boston. Is this where the game is set? Is the game set in Boston then, obviously? Okay. It starts off in Boston.
I think so, but I don't remember, to be honest, but probably. Well, it visits different cities, but...
Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean, the way the episode ends, it lets me know they're going on a road trip, basically. Which I love the idea of. Now, I took a picture of this. This is where the kid has come in and the officer's looking after them. I don't have a picture of other bits of this scene because I wanted to bring this up. So for someone who hasn't played the game, you know how long it's going to take for people to get infected. And I think this is a great way of showing us, the audience, what to expect and how to expect it, especially with Ellie, as we get to learn this throughout the episodes. But this whole sequence... after listening to the podcast, watching it a second time, realizing how good a job they did of communicating this message of how they handle people that are sick. Really, again, it was also kind of heartbreaking too, this poor kid, and the way the female officer, she's talking to him, telling him he's locked in the chair because they don't want him to fall out. A kid's going to believe that. I really thought that was really well done. Then you see that the red on the... Because at that point, I wasn't quite sure what red meant. I'm assuming red means bad, right? Assuming red means bad. Yeah.
Dude, if red meant color, good, I don't know what they do to people with the bad news. Red would have been the good news.
We'll see. For Lunar New Year, red is the main color. Red is lucky. Red is good. So Jukbang Namoy. Red is good for Lunar New Year.
Damn.
That was smooth, right?
Cultural gems. Yeah.
It was. So red is good. But so neck is quick. Okay, that makes sense. So neck, face, and head is 5 to 15 minutes till infection. Torso, arm, shoulders, and hands, 2 to 8 hours, which is very relevant. See how it's highlighted green? I think that's and they even highlighted a green, like foreshadowing here. Leg and foot, 12 to 24 hours. So that's, you don't get long no matter where you get bit, really.
Yeah.
And report signs of quadriceps infection, coughing, slurred speech, muscle spasms, mood change. I really like that. I thought that's cool. Really, really good. But to see that kid, see them put him at ease and then give him the injection was heartbreaking. Did you want to elaborate on this scene before we continue to the next one?
No,
about how you think they got the point across? They got the point across without saying so much, and you have to be attentive when you're watching the show to pick up on these things. So I think if you're doing things and you're not watching the show properly, you're not noticing these things.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that it's been 20 years, and you can see how mankind has adjusted to the epidemic. And you can see that there's kind of a martial law being upheld by FEDRA, which is FEMA. And they really don't take any chances. You already knew that when you saw that they killed Sarah because she was wounded. They didn't take a chance, even though it was like a cop you knew. Or was it? I think it was. It was, right? And it's going to be. But they don't take any chances with anyone. And you can see that the scanner, if it sounds red, you're dead. It's kind of the basic message.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot to talk about that. Even down to the point of the way the officer acted before he shot Sarah. Again, I can't get over how well they've communicated things because you hear him like, yes, sir. Like even the way he was responding to his boss sounded like he did, like he's like, oh shit, I gotta, like, they're telling him something bad. The way they handled that was just so well done. So, and only watching it the second time did I pick up on all these things, and I'm like, damn, like that was really well done.
Yeah.
I just want to address this chat here too from Often. I'm sort of mad the press has seen all the episodes already. I did listen to a
Why?
discussion about this. So the press this
Mhm.
time got all the episodes to review. One of the
Mhm.
theories was that that's what they do with games. When you review game reviewers, they get the whole game. They don't get parts of the game to review. But another theory was that HBO are so confident in what they've produced with this show that they gave that out to the
Yeah.
reviewers, the people who review it as a whole, and go, watch all of it. This is how good it is.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So that's the
And
theory.
it's kind of a slow burn, right? Not as slow because you feel the tension immediately, but it kind of makes sense for the press to see everything, so they can tell the rest of the world how great the story is. I think that's the best way to commercialize.
Yeah.
Or to,
Yeah.
to-
So it's
to
interesting that they.
propaganda.
Yeah, but they don't normally do that. That's the thing. Like Marvel don't do that. They only give like the first couple of episodes.
True.
So it's interesting to see different companies doing different things. And there's a love story
think it
going on
talks
here
to the
between
strength of the story.
Empire Strikes Again. It does.
It's
I
a
think so.
bromance.
And the
John.
and the
And don't be
confidence that
jealous.
they have.
Don't be jealous.
Bromance,
You're still
no.
the only one who has
Bromance. Hey.
the matching jacket.
Hey. Okay, good. Blue is glue, red is dead.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Kung Hai Fat Choi. I don't know if that's how you say it properly, but I think that's it. Happy New Year. Curb Infection, Curb Insurrection.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that from the game? Or is that just a general?
Don't remember, but it kind of looks like it because it sounds familiar.
What's the code you're saying? I don't know why I was looking for your Equestrian episode. I just did that now. That makes sense. That would be cool. But also pretty impossible for this show because they wouldn't have had QR codes for the show. Yeah. From the show. Oh, okay.
It's from the show.
From the show.
Okay.
There you go. So let's move on to what would have been the end of the first episode, which is where Joel, you see the sneakers of the young boy. They make sure to show the speakers. And I like how they showed the woman who's also helping him throw bodies into the fire. Couldn't do it because it was a child. This was originally
That was
going
Tess,
to be
right?
the end of the episode.
That one was
Is that
Tess already,
Tess?
right? Or was it someone else?
No, that's someone else. Just a rando.
Okay.
That's just a random.
Okay.
That's just a random. So already they've cut to like this would have been the way the show ended, and I don't think it wouldn't have affected whether I came back or not because I don't like that doesn't do it for me with shows like the fact that they said that they didn't think that people would come back to watch the show. I would definitely have watched the show again, but I did like the point that they made that you don't even see Ellie in the first episode if they had ended the show here. If that
Yeah,
makes
because
sense.
the show
What do
is
you think
about
about that?
their relationship. So
But for
pilot
me, I
should
didn't know
kind
that.
of-
You know what I mean? I don't know that as a
yeah,
viewer
but
coming
a
out, you
pilot
don't
should
know.
kind of but a pilot should kind of link the audience to the theme or the driving force of the show before waving off, right? And this didn't, because at first you're thinking that the driving force would be, or the protagonist would be Sarah. She got killed, and then there's like a parallel with this kid who also gets killed, and that would have been it. So I think HBO made a really good comment there.
Yes,
To
definitely.
just keep going and add the second episode. Yeah.
That is true. I think that you make a good
Other
point.
than
That's
that-
so true because.
Oh.
No, you're right. Other
Oh,
than
yeah.
that,
No, just go on this point. And then, well, other than that, I like this scene because it showed what Joel has been doing in these 20 years, in which he's only aged like 2 years, by the way. But
Yeah.
he's 50 something right at the moment, 56, I guess.
56. 56.
Yeah, and he is
Like a fine
I think his
wine,
name's
he's
Anthony. I think his name has become Anthony in the last 20 years because his soul is turned up as well. So he's in the group with AJ and me. And the other woman who's also burning bodies can't do it to the kid. and he's closed up after Sarah's death.
Yeah.
So he doesn't feel
Yeah.
anything anymore.
Yeah. Well, I would say if it did end here, I would have been more attached to Sarah because that's who we spent more time with in the episode. So you're right.
Yeah,
The fact that they
yeah.
put it together, and plus also having a longer intro to a show, I think does also help hook you in a little bit more too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Leapfrog's sneakers from She-Hulk. Kind of is, or Hulk.
Fuck.
Is there a
Kinda is,
Deadpool on there? Is there any Deadpool sneakers in here? I'm pretty sure Deadpool's gonna make an appearance.
Oh yeah, we need a twerk. We need those twerk videos, John.
No, it wasn't the Marvels. Oh man.
Marvelous.
What's Empire Strikes Again? It's like Halo. I never played the game, but watched the show off the back of the Reputation. There you go. To be honest, I wanted to watch this show because of Pedro Pascal because he's one of my favorite actors. So that's what originally made me want to watch the show, and now I'm like, oh damn, I'm deep into this world.
Yeah,
Definitely deep into the world. So very cool. That would have been the end. As we move on to just rocking the Waleed scarf. Don't make me cry, Wakagi. Let's go back. Don't bring back memories of Waleed. I can't do it. Can't do it. So I wanted to take this picture because, and now some of the slides here are a little muddled up because I wanted to touch on relationships and discuss those more so than follow it scene by scene because I was running out of time because I used so many slides for the first half of the episode. But when you're lost in the darkness looking for the light, that's the name of the episode, which is really cool. And I'm loving how that's played into it. Now, as a viewer, having not played the game, I'm assuming these guys seem like rebels. Fedra seems like the oppression, keeping them in the city, if that all seems to make sense.
It's the Empire.
They're the Empire. So this is Star Wars. We're in Star Wars.
Yeah, this is basically Star Wars.
This is Star Wars. And Mando, Din has gotten rid of his Beskar, and he's just gone with the blue, the stylish blue shirt. But this is everywhere. So I'm liking this, and obviously Joel is not a part of this. From when we see the guy come up to him later. So that has made sense to me. And he's dealing with the police officers. Is that something relevant to the game? You know, was he dealing with people in that? Did they spend a lot of time exploring Boston before he goes? Do you spend that, or is that a part of the game where you're learning how to play still?
Dude, I just remember going underground and running and sneaking and running. Yeah, but I'm really curious to see the sneaking part, how they pulled it off in its media, because it was a very integral part of the game, just figuring out how to navigate and to move and to.
Very cool.
Oh, we'll see how that goes.
Awesome. William's back. What's up, William? William Owens here. Didn't play the game, but loved the first episode. Well, William, you're with me. And just so you know, we're covering this show as a show, but we will make references every now and then to bits of the game. But I'm like you, sir. I did not play the game. So all good, brother. Often Studio says, if you say look for the light, I'll break your jaw. I did love that line. And it shows you that Joel is a badass.
He doesn't like them. He has history. Oh, I think he has a history with them.
When you're lost in the darkness, this is the way. Boom. I love that. That should have been the name of the first episode.
Yeah. This is the way.
Oh, man. This is the year of Pedro. I'm telling you guys. He's in this show. He's Mando. He's with Nick Cage. You can't go wrong. This is the year, even though that was last year.
Okay, so John, let me know. Would you have preferred because you're saying Pedro Pascal is your favorite actor.
Yes.
To be honest, I was really excited him playing Mando when I first heard of it. But would you have preferred Mando taking off his helmet more?
Nah, that doesn't bother me. No, that doesn't bother me at all. I like, that's not a thing. I just love Pedro. I love Pedro from Narcos. The first 2 seasons of Narcos absolutely was one of my favorite shows back when it aired. I just thought he was such a cool character. Really? Oh man. Especially the second season where he's the main character. So Pedro becomes the main,
Oh, I need to
basically
see
the
it,
main
maybe.
law enforcement.
Maybe I need to see
Yeah, so
that. Yeah.
he's the
I
supporting.
will try it
He's the
again.
supporting character in the first season. But
Yeah,
he's the main
yeah.
character in the second one, and that's where I was like, yeah, this guy is freaking charismatic.
So
when I
when you're talking about charismatic, like I said, I loved him when he was Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones, and I was
Mhm.
kind of hoping that he was as badass in Narcos, and then he was just
Mhm.
a side character, just like you're saying. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why it was a bit of a downer for me. But I'll need to try to get back into
Yeah,
Narcos.
you can't. I would say the second season. I enjoyed the second season more because he was the original guy wasn't in it. It follows basically his journey, and yeah, he's so good in that.
Yeah,
And
maybe I like
who
that.
agrees?
I like
Empire Strikes Again. Yeah, Narcos is phenomenal. Yeah, that second season was a fight. I couldn't watch it after that. After he's not in the second season, I couldn't watch it. That was it. I watched it because of him, basically.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine.
I know I haven't watched this one. I know I should. It's got Namor and
Namor
Andor in it.
Andor.
Yeah. Maybe
Okay,
I'll go
first
back
I'll
and
watch
watch it.
Narcos, and then season
Yes.
2, and then Mexico, I guess.
Yeah, you can watch
Often says
season
this
2
is my
without
figure on
watching.
screen. I need to turn him around. Wait.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to buy 2 Chrome Mandos just so I can have 2 head sculpts, so I can have one on Mando and one as
Yeah,
Joel.
so I did. Just because I want to have a head sculpt on
Freaking
Joel.
madman. Don't tell Lani. Okay, don't tell Lani or Mila.
Yeah,
But I'm going to get
I think it's a
2
good fit.
Chrome Mandos.
Look, I turned him.
Yeah.
It's good.
I just need to find this Joel figure. I need to find it. If it's hopefully
I
still
don't know
for
if it's
sale.
hard to find, and I think they might even re-release it because of the series, and also because Part 1 Remastered is coming to PC in March, I think. So there's like a new impulse of this. So they might really do it again. I don't know.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting off track. I just thought this is introducing the rebels, the backstory. I kind of like that. It's 2 different. It feels like 2 different shows to me between the first half and this half. The first half was all about the tension and building to this apocalyptic thing that's going to happen, and then it's cut into what the world is later. And I didn't know there was going to be a 20-year time jump. So when that happened, I was like, "Holy shit, 20 years? Okay." That's why they said his birthday. Not to mention, he lost his freaking daughter the night of his birthday. Come on.
Yeah.
Or that's heartbreaking. In fact, I might cry in a minute. That's how sad I am. Okay, so let's move on to the
On
next
the inside,
one. This
you
is.
already are crying.
I'm already crying on the inside. My body is sweating that much in this jacket that I am already. My body's crying. My body is crying right now. Now, I skipped the whole part of Tess. She's Australian, FYI. Also, great
cool.
Australian actors. I skipped the part with her and Robert. I don't know why, but I just love Australian actors. I don't even care if I know them or anything. I'm just like, you're from Australia, represent.
Yeah, because you're a damn chauvinist. That's why.
What's the
We all know it.
territorial?
We all love you for it.
Territorial. Yeah. Look, that's why Hugh Jackman is God, because not only is he Wolverine, but he's also Australian. So.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman is like our Prince Hugh.
He is. He's royalty. He's Aussie
He's
royalty.
If you haven't seen the movie Australia by I think Baz Luhrmann, is it Baz Luhrmann? Australia, yeah, with Hugh Jackman and Nicole Kidman. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. It's very stylistic, like a Baz Luhrmann film is. Very like just different, but Hugh he's awesome in it. He gets to be his Australian self, and it's very cool older film. But yes, we meet Tess
Australia.
anyway. Yeah, Australia. Australia. Now, I skipped the part with her and Robert because I wanted to talk more about Tess's relationship with that in the interest of time. Now, from my feeling, she seems like the boss in a way. Would that be fair? Is she much in the game? Because again, I don't know. Like,
yeah, she is. And okay, look the fun part when you just watch it as a show. If you remember the way that Sarah has her dynamic with, I was going to say Pedro Pascal. he's kind of relinquishing some of his responsibilities, right? So he's doing his part, getting the jobs, and getting money and getting paid. But other than that, he's just stonewalling life, it seems, for a bit, and he gets led by Sarah, and over here it's the same thing. He kind of gets led by Tess, and I don't know if it's here, but he kind of feels like the muscle of the Enterprise over there.
Well, the way they
I
talk
think it's
about,
later when they talk to Marley. Yeah,
right? He feels like the muscle,
Yeah.
like he's the pit bull.
yeah,
And I love how she tells that Robert guy that she won't tell him, and then she tells him anyway, and she's like, "Let's get this mofo."
yeah. And it's
thought that
even
was cool.
worse than a pit bull. Maybe he feels like a loaded gun, and she
Yeah.
she just points, or
You know,
not
he's
points in this case.
He's Riggs. He's Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon 1. He's on the edge. Like, I feel like he's Martin Riggs. Don't you get that feeling? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
he's ready.
Yeah, except for the shoulder dislocation.
Yeah, he's ready to go skits. Like, he could go skits
Yeah.
at any minute.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do like that feeling because I feel like,
but less fun to hang around with. I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
What's all this? What's Lukaku saying? You could replace all your figures' heads with Pedro sculpts. That's a great idea.
I could.
That's a great idea. That's why you need 2 Commandos, maybe 3, because then you need one with the
Oh
helmet,
man,
one with the
I'm
head
going to
sculpt,
change
and
the
one on
head
John.
on Armored Deadpool.
To Mando.
Pascal.
Yes, yes. Do it. Yes.
That would be cool, huh?
I say yes. And she was great in Fringe. What is often saying, but I'm surprised they didn't use Annie Retching. Oh, she played Tess in the
Rushing,
game. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think some
Interesting.
actors don't translate well on
Hmm.
film, or there was like a scheduling problem. I don't know.
Mm.
But I don't mind they didn't.
Yeah, I like their relationship so far from what I've seen. I like that they, it seems, I like that there's the story of him needing to get the car battery. It feels like a game. You've got to get this thing to go do the next thing. It's like a task that you have to complete. And that reminded me of a video
Yeah.
game because I've played many games in my time, just not this one. But I love that feeling. Watching this again makes me want to play the game. Like I want to get a PS5 now. And I want to get the game. The only problem is I just don't have time.
Yeah, you can play it on 4.
Or
can
yeah,
still
just
play
get
it
it
on 4.
and play it on
But,
4. Again, I still.
But or was it 3? I don't know anymore. But yeah, I think it used to be guns or supplies or something else than a car battery. But as they've said in the podcast, in Prey 2 and the Predator removes his in script to be fair.
that's classic. Empire Strikes Again. That is money.
Oh,
That's
man.
gold.
I can already see
You
like
imagine?
a YouTube compilation video of every character in every movie when they're taking off their mask. It's Pedro Pascal.
Someone needs to do that. Everyone, all these like Iron Man taking off his helmet, and it's Pedro. You could do it with
Yeah,
that face
yeah.
app. There's that app that does the face things. That would be freaking hilarious. Anyway, sorry. Yes, you were saying. Damn you, Empire
I
Strikes
know what I
Again.
was saying.
Empire Strikes Again with another good one.
It's going to be Pedro.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Well,
Often says I
what
should
was
play
I
the
talking about again? About oh yeah, and because it used to be like more supplies or guns or money or something like that in the case, and now it's a battery, which makes a lot more sense with the theme they're going for. They're going for with the theme of love, and in this part it's more brotherly love, because he wants to get, he's worried about Tommy.
Yeah, and I want to know, why is Tommy out not with him? Why are they separated? That's what I want to know. Like, they don't really explain that. He's just out there and he hasn't replied in
Well,
3
they
weeks.
kind of explain that Marley has something to do with it. So, what they're telling you
True.
in this episode is that Marley has something to do with him and Tommy either falling out or not seeing each other, and that's the only thing they're all hinting at in this episode. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm looking forward to finding that there, because he does say he turned my brother against me or something. So I'm assuming Tommy has joined the Fireflies, and maybe that's why Mando doesn't like the Fireflies. that could be.
Maybe.
Is what
maybe.
is the impression? That's the impression I get anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
From that scene. But let's get on to our first time meeting Ellie. Well, this is actually the second time because the 1, 2, 3, 4 FU thing was quite hilarious. A good way to find her. She's very hardened and not how I thought she would be. But I kind of like it. I like that she.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't expect her to be hardened, but she is quite hardened. And again, I guess this is the only world she knows, right? So.
Yeah, so when we see
Probably a tough
Ellie
world to grow up
in the
in.
game, Ellie is a lot cuter, a lot more likable also. At least for me it was. And when I saw Bella Ramsey at first in this scene, or Lady Mormont, or the worst witch ever, if you have a daughter watching series, I thought, oh wow, she didn't dry up well, but I got used to her afterwards, and then I thought she was pretty cool because she was as hardened as she was, and it kind of makes sense because Marley is saying that she put her into military school, so she feels like an abandoned kid who has had to figure it out all for herself with major attachment problems. So it feels right. It feels
Right? Yeah.
It feels
I
yeah, like it's supposed
again,
to
I don't
be.
have anything to compare it to. So to me, she's who Ellie is. But I did have
Yeah,
seen images of what the character of the video game looks like, and I know she looks different. But you know, you can't expect every character to look the same. I think you got to give the best person for the job and trust the casting people to make the right decision. But yeah, she was very hardened and just not what I expected. But then it ended up being I quite liked her attitude, and I can see there's a picture that I've got soon that I thought was quite hilarious. A moment, not hilarious in a funny way, but hilarious in a savage type of way. I think she's got the chops to really have banter, I guess would be the word, with Pedro as the show goes on. And I do know that Marlene is played by the same voice actor, so that was cool because I watched the
that's
behind
really
the scenes,
cool.
and that's really cool that she got to come back. Cool little Easter egg. Now, what I do want to know is how. So she put Ellie in the military school when she was a baby. I want to know: is there going to be more backstory on that? I wonder. I'm assuming they're going to explore that in the show.
I think they will.
What does she have to do with her? I wonder. I'm intrigued by that. When she said, you know, as someone who doesn't know what happens, I'm like, okay, there's more story to be had here. And how does she know that she got bitten or whatever? You know, like
Yeah,
I don't know.
they'll go there. They'll go, yeah.
There's a lot to explore. Often says, I try not to compare it, but Ashley Johnson's attitude and voice is perfect for Ellie, but Bella channeling her spirit. Bella is channeling her spirit. Okay. Pretty well, he says.
Yeah, it's just Ellie from the game.
And AJ says,
Yeah,
Anthony says, damn you, Anthony. Yeah, I get her being hardened from all the stuff she's gone through. Okay.
Yeah, so it's hardened, but also because of the stuff she went through, but also like they said, it's a story about love. So it'll also go about everything she missed growing up as a child. She's like Sarah Connor's child, being trained for military from birth.
Damn. And that makes the end sequence when she sees him beating the crap out of the guard even more important because I guess she's hardened in that way. That's how she's grown up. So that's very clever.
Yeah, so it's not only hardened. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to add to the stuff. It's not only hardened because of what she's been through, but if you have attachment disorders as a kid, that's the you need to be securely attached to have empathy and feelings for other people. Because if you miss that growing up, you can have all kinds of personality disorders. So that's what she grows up with.
Yeah, very interesting, and I can't wait to see. I want to know more. I want to know more about her story as a first time viewer. So it has intrigued me in that way, definitely.
Yeah, and Marley already hands like a note or some information about
actually,
Ellie to her, or Veronica. I think she's Veronica here. Still,
Veronica,
right?
yeah, Veronica.
Oh no, it's
or
Ellie.
She
It's
tells
Ellie
her here.
I think
Yeah,
Marley says Ellie here. Yeah. But before that, Marley gives like a note to her second in command or something, and then she's wow.
Yeah, and
So
we don't know what that is.
they already
which
have
is
some information. Yeah.
mm,
I can
very
copy paste
intriguing.
Offen's remark throughout this whole series. I think you will find
You'll
out.
find out. Yeah, it's almost like you guys are in on something, and I'm like, you're teasing me with "you'll find out." I'm like, I just want to know.
Yeah, because
Uh,
because the first episode established that it's going to be exactly the same as the game, with only a bit more backstory added to it. So
yeah,
you can
I love it.
assume that everything's going to be the same, right?
Yeah, I love it. Then we get to see this sequence where they're going on the mission, which I thought was really cool. I didn't know that they ended up dying like this. Is this how they? Is this? You know, to me, this shows me that okay, after a certain amount of time, the body does die, or do they stay infected? You know what I mean? Like, so is this someone who
Hmm.
has uh, been a zombie, and then this is how it ends, or does like what's the difference between this and the ones that are still moving around? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Copy
know,
paste, copy paste.
you'll find out. Damn it! Damn you, often. I could see this being a theme throughout our shows. Ah!
Yeah, yeah,
Now, okay, here's a question then. This Left Behind, I keep hearing about Left Behind. Is that something to do with this game? Is that in the world of this?
yeah, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it
That's
something
like
to do?
I, I literally just bought Left Behind with the remastered version of Part One because I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking I'll get the PS5 up here and replay the game because it was so
Mm-hmm.
long ago, and I really want to see what the PS5 made of it. So I bought Left Behind now.
Okay.
It has to do with Ellie and someone else.
Okay. So it follows Ellie.
You
Right?
will find
You'll
out.
find. Damn it! Ah! It's a dick from the first game. What? It's a dick. DLC.
DLC, downloadable content.
I saw DIC. Oh god, I'm gone blind.
Yeah, that's
Like,
just your mind.
oh Jesus. Okay, so that's cool. So it's in the story. Okay, to become the
Yeah.
fun guy. The become fun guys. Okay. That has backstory that will play into the show. Interesting. Okay, all right. But it looked cool either way. So this has something to do. This is something that happens in the game. Fair enough. Fair play. And then they come here. The bit where he throws her up against the wall was hilarious. It's like, get out of the way. I thought that was cool. And I like that they didn't show us the battle between Marlene and Robert and all them. They just come to the aftermath. I thought that was an interesting way to do it. Because you don't need to know, I guess,
And
why. They were just fighting over the battery, right?
Yeah, and I think this is the part when Marlene says, "I know what you two guys are capable of," or is that before?
You're teasing us. They're teasing us. Lakagi and Often are teasing us. They didn't get it. What didn't I get? Ah! You trolls! How dare you? They become
To
fun.
become fun guys.
Oh, God. Okay, now I get it. Thank you. Often has to break things down for me so I can understand. Thank you. Sorry, yes, this sequence. Continue. Anthony.
This is like, yeah. So, was this the part where they're saying, "We know what you guys are capable of"?
Yeah.
What was that before?
Yes. No, this
Was
is the
this
part
right?
where she's like,
Bec-
I've been shot. You need to take, like, well, I was kind of surprised that she just entrusts someone so important to Joel to take. I thought
Yeah,
that was a bit
because
strange.
everyone's dead. No, everyone's dead. So everyone in the location is dead. So she just needs these two to get Ellie across.
Fair enough. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so all right. I love how the other guy's like, I'll take her, and she's like, you don't even have a effing ear right now. Like I thought that was that was like a little laughable moment. I thought that chick lost her ear just casually, just casually there with no ear. Damn. So they get entrusted to her, which I think is cool. For some reason, I'm just putting it out there now. I feel like, having not knowing anything about the game, I feel like, what's the woman's name again?
Tess? Molly?
Tess. I feel like Tess is going to die. I don't know why. but I feel like Tess is going to die. I just have that feeling. It's a feeling I had since I
Copy-paste.
first saw her. You'll find out. Damn it! Yeah, you don't have an F in here when you F in. I did love that.
Get back into the house.
Yeah. So, okay, they're entrusted with her, and then they go back to here. And this was a terrible shot by me, but I wanted to capture this scene because I love the banter between them already. And when she says your watch is broken, I felt you just see him laying there and she's like, your watch is broken. It was like so savage. She didn't even know how savage it was. But it was
Are those
freaking
scissors
savage.
on the table? They are, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's cool. I didn't see it. I didn't see it the first time. That's cool.
Yeah. So that kind of got me when she said your watch is broken. What do you guys think of that? That broke my heart. It's like, oh, you don't even know how much you just hurt him just then. And he just laid there. You kind of see him have a sigh like that. That was devastating for me. Come on, guys. Shit. Does nobody care?
Okay.
No one cares. Ah,
Yeah.
damn it. I don't have an attachment to Ellie yet. I have an attachment to Sarah. As a viewer from there, I'm attached to Sarah, not to Ellie. So when she said that was sad for me.
Yeah. Okay.
That really hurt. No one cares. Fine. Often, anybody. Butch, back me up. Where are you? Anybody.
Yeah. So I actually cut it with this instead of the scissors, but yeah, you're right. Scissors is to cut the watch to fit the seams on.
Damn. But this whole sequence, I thought was like the build up before they go on the mission. They have a little rest.
Yeah, and this is also to show how smart Ellie is, and she figures out the code on the music pretty quickly because that's right now,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which I thought was quite good. But what I did think was, how does she know an 80s song? The watch line is straight from the game. It does hit hard. Thank you,
True.
often. It does hit hard.
That's a good one.
Yeah, how does she know what an 80s song is? Like,
That's a good one. That is
Yeah,
a good
like
one.
Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. Really? I didn't even know that. I mean, I guess I do know that's an 80s song. But
Yeah, you do.
yeah, that was rough. His face at that moment. Yes, Lukaku, see, back me up. That was rough.
Yeah.
What's the relevance to the scissors, Anthony? Or will I find
so,
out?
So story-wise, it's really not relevant. Game-wise, it's really relevant. Just like keys in Resident Evil are relevant, or typewriter tape was relevant. So story-wise, not that relevant.
Okay. Often says she was reading the book. I think because she's reading the book, she knows what the 80s song is. What I mean by that is, you could know the music, that there's codes for music.
Yeah.
But how does she know the song,
You wouldn't
the actual
recognize it.
song? Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know it, I wouldn't think, unless she's grown up listening to music and talking to people about, I guess that's plausible, but that's just something I noticed right off the bat.
Yeah.
But it does show how
You could
smart
also
she is. Cracked the
see
code.
how there's no new music being made, so every music
Yes.
you have is old music, and that's the way you get to know
Yeah.
it. Maybe, but I think it's a good point that you might know 80s music is trouble, but you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We'll let that
Yeah,
go.
interesting
We'll let that go.
nonetheless. Yeah, we'll let that go. And look, guys, this brings us to one more slide because I was focused so heavily on the slides from the start of the show that we come to the end when they're doing the mission and they get busted by the guard. Now, we didn't talk about the guard before, but there was a good point I wanted to talk about from that sequence when he was dealing drugs with the guards. So I'm assuming he gets drugs for guards, and that's how he does deals and things. A little good thing that I noticed.
Not
with that is
only
when
for
he
the
asks-
guards, because he also gets
Ooh.
cigarette for the radio guy, so
Yes,
he gets around in town.
wheeling and dealing. He's a hustler.
He is.
I love how he asks for the bag back when he gives the drugs. And as someone I think I was listening to, I'm not sure if it was Robert Meyer Burnett or someone was talking about that, of course, you'd ask for the bag back because it's not like people are making plastic bags anymore. You know what I mean? Like in the new world, they're not really manufacturing Ziploc bags anymore. So little details like that of using the bag to give the drugs and say, I need that bag back, because maybe it's not so easy to get the bag back. And I thought that's really cool, whether it is intentional or not. I feel like it's intentional to show
it's
that
just
they're not.
setting the world, right? But I think now
Yeah.
that we're talking about cool things they added in. I love how when he goes to the radio guy, who's like an information broker, right? I
Yes.
love how there's like a long line of people who want information from the guy, and he just cuts the line.
Yeah,
he just goes first,
that was
and
cool.
everyone acknowledges that he can go first, which is pretty cool. Which kind of
Yeah.
seems like he has the most badass reputation ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that is actually, that's a great way of showing that he's a badass without actually having to say he's a badass. Even the fact that the guards like are willing to work with him as well, because that guard again probably would have been a baby when all this stuff happened. Thinking about it, he's a youngish looking guy. He probably would have only grown up in this world. So that makes sense to me. Often says which pays more. That'd be the one with the shit. Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Damn. I think she
one
saw
with
the
the
song on Moon Knight. Maybe she did look like it. Maybe she did. Mike's in the house. Mr. Michael Mansell. I loved your shot of Ahsoka on Insta actually today. I had to share it. That was sick. It was fire.
I
That
need
was
to see
awesome.
it. I need to see it.
Mike's dropping fire. And he's dropping pictures,
Yeah.
man. He's dropping fire.
Yeah, he started
Don't
with
worry
killing
about
that elf, so I'll always.
He did.
He has an issue with elves, I think.
I think he does.
Oh.
Half off, all off. Cracked me up. Even then, the guard, like, I mean, that's a big mistake trying to take on Mando. You do not do that. You do not do that. Seriously, you get himself messed up. But this whole last sequence obviously sets up where the show's going to go, which left me wanting more. Also brings me to a point which I think we can touch on after this bit. But I do want to discuss before we finish the point of weekly showing instead of binging it all. Because the fact that it's just aired these two, I'm left wanting more, and I can't wait for tomorrow. Like, it's already set the time of, like, I know when I finish work tomorrow night, I get to watch. That anticipation of the show is really exciting, as opposed to if it was all out, I probably would have binged it all already and would be over talking about it within a week or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also, I think it's relevant for the rundown. I think they did it especially for the sake of us being able to do a rundown on it, because doing a rundown on a
100%.
show that you can binge after a day, that's not as much fun as it is
No way.
the show that's airing weekly, right? And you can see the
Yeah.
show first, then you can listen to the podcast with the two showrunners talking about it, just like you could do with a DVD back in the day. Just watch the DVD, and then you can change the audio commentary of the showrunners. That was also cool to do. And now,
Yes.
now I can play the game in between. So it's a cool way to do it.
I think I actually prefer this style of TV now, especially for shows that I like. Having it week by week. I think as I've gotten older, I feel like I prefer the slow drip more than the binge. What do you guys in the chat think? Do you prefer it week by week? Do you prefer to binge it? Let us know, because I'm actually enjoying that more. It gives us time to sit and marinate. Like, all these points, if we'd binged the whole series, we wouldn't have touched on lots of different nuances and points throughout the show, because we'd be skipping to get through it all. If that makes sense. So it allows us to soak it in.
I think I would prefer binging things if it wasn't for the rundown.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like Narcos, you can go back and binge now because you've got it. You've got it all. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. But I kind of like. See, Mike agrees. He prefers it being weekly.
It's cool to have something to look forward to in a day.
So by playing the game, I did binge the show.
You did. You binged the show.
You did. I'm kind of glad I haven't played the game, because I'm excited to see where the story goes. I kind of like not knowing what's going to happen, even though it tortures me when you guys say you will find out. Renz enjoys weekly episodes too. I enjoy week by week. Okay. I wonder if the youth of today would hate week to week that didn't grow back up in the days. Like, I remember when we used to watch Friends when I was younger. Friends would be an event. It'd be on one night a week, and you'd have dinner and you'd watch it back in those days. It reminds me of those times, looking forward to a time and an event to watch something. Uh, kind of getting used to the drip feed with Disney Plus. Yeah, I agree. Empire Strikes Again. I like the drip feed. And Anthony says he's also in the chat. He's everywhere. In a way, weekly airing gave you the power of the spanner. It did. It did. Spanner boy. We need to get a comic line drawn up of us with all our superhero names. I think that'd be cool. What's often also saying, I'm not worthy of the spanner anymore. You are, sir. You're dropping our links in the chats. You're doing all those things.
Yeah, so take care. You really need to watch it. Watch your step often, because you know that John is a UFC guy, so you can get stripped. You can get stripped if you don't.
You can get stripped of your title. That's right.
Yeah.
And one call to Dana, you get slapped up. I got it. It's literally. Sorry. Sorry.
One quarter day.
Insensitive. One call to Dana, you're getting slapped up. Anthony's like Ultron.
How
He is
so?
Ultron.
I'm
You're everywhere.
Like that. Yeah.
In the chat, on the screen, in the audio, everywhere. I'm going to get Odined. Odined. Oh, man. So back to this
No,
sequence.
he's going to get run down.
Rundown. That's another good one. You're going to get rundown. That guy, if that guy spoils another show for Empire Strikes Again, I say take his knees out. Take his knees out, teach him a lesson. So he doesn't spoil a show for it. You're doing it for the future of other people. Lakagi says, yeah, being someone who looks at all the details, I like the weekly format.
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
You get
I
to
would rush
marinate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the addict in me would rush it. But the fact that we're made to I think you need to be made to slow drip. Like, it's like if there was a Hot Toys store in Perth, right? If I could just go to the store and get everything, I would go and get everything. I need to be restricted because
Dude,
I know my
you are
addiction.
getting everything.
Well, I mean,
You're
yeah.
getting triples.
Well, look.
You're getting
don't
into
tell
trouble.
Lani. Don't tell Lani, okay? Or Mila. Often likes to be binged away. Don't tell her. Look,
away.
as far as Lani knows, I just got 3 separate Pedro Pascal headshots. That's all. It's just, he doesn't need to know. I'll hide the other Mandos somewhere. I'll be like, no, I've always had these Mandos. There's a 3-pack. It came as a 3-pack. Great deal.
It was 3-pack.
Shit, she's going to kill me. The rundown Civil War. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a Civil War. But this end sequence, I do want to touch on it because I think it is really important. He has PTSD flashback to what happened to his daughter. Again, heartbreaking, which brings out the rage in him. I like that they did that flashback. Did you like that they did that flashback? I think, I didn't like as an audience we should. Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't really need it. As I didn't need the sneakers on the dead kid. But I didn't hate it either. It was fine.
Yeah, I like that they did that. I like that they showed it again for people who haven't played the game or just people in general. It's a good little reminder. Wait, you can hide the other Mandos in my room. Thanks, friends.
I got you.
You're so
He's
good
such a ride or die bud.
Yeah, Renz, he's Hawk Boy. I'm Hawk Guy. He's Hawk Boy. He pulled me up. I did a countdown to the show yesterday, guys. Renz messages me and goes, I'll see you in a year. I'm like, what? I'm like, I scheduled the freaking stream for a year's time. So, you know, he needs to get over it. It's been 20 years. How dare you?
It's been 20 years.
That's it. That's a warning.
Get a hold of yourself. It's been 20 years.
How dare you?
She hasn't even been alive for 20 years.
JK. Yeah. Oh, man. 3 for the price of 3. Yeah, that makes sense. That's my type of math.
Yeah, and if you're doing quick batch, it's even 3 for the price of 3.5.
Yeah, pretty much. I would not be doing quick batch. And look, in case Lani
you will be
watches
doing
this,
quick batch.
I have not purchased any other Mandos. Just saying, I haven't done anything. It's all theory right now. It's just all theory, Lani.
It's all theory right now. Yeah.
Yeah, theory.
But it's inevitable.
Yeah, well, yeah. Thanos did say that, so let's just leave it at that. Now, if you go back and rewatch how Ellie reacts when he's beating the crap out of the guy, because her reaction compared to Sarah's, after watching it the second time and listening to the podcast, I was like, damn, that's actually really cool. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing that these people show when the thought that's gone into this show to bring through character development again. Without, they did so much for character development in this without using words. From the kid, the way the lady treated the kid, to how Sarah reacted, to how she reacted, to the bag, to all the little elements throughout the show, setting up the world and setting up what it is. Very subtle, but very, if you're attuned and you're looking for these types of things, I think it just really adds to the depth of the story, which really got me hyped.
And speaking about the scene, there are two things that I didn't see the first time that I watched it before listening to the podcast. It's one thing is about Pedro Pascal. This is like the beginning of shooting. So either Neil or Craig told him, we already know that you can do rage and be a badass because you're like a natural badass. But for Joel, at first you need to see the vulnerability. And that's what he actually does in that scene when he gets the flashback.
Yeah.
So you see the softness and the loss and the grief right before he goes into rage. So that's well done, but I didn't pick up on it the first time. The second thing I didn't pick up on the first time is Ellie's reaction. And I think that's what you're aiming at, right?
Yes.
Because at first I was thinking, this is a normal reaction to someone holding you under gunpoint. So I didn't think too much about it, especially with Ellie being raised for the military or in military school. But then they were talking about that this series is love story. First it was Joel and Sarah, and now it's Joel and Ellie. And not only love being a good thing, but also the second part, how do you call it? The second face of the coin of love. Because
they can
love,
bring through
unconditional
rage
love, unconditional love can lead to a lot of fear, and fear leads to the dark side, you could say, or bad behavior. It's the turning, it's the other side of love. And the thing that they show here with Ellie is that Ellie actually relishes in her seeing the damage that Joel is doing to the guy. So instead of being shocked, she actually loves it. So it kind of feels like there's someone fighting for you. And this harkens back to having an attachment disorder where no one has fought for you when you were a kid. So now you're looking for that part to fulfill yourself every time in life. So she really loves Joel fighting for her. So that's going to be a thing they'll drive on in the rest of the series. So I thought that was really cool hearing the podcast. So if you can, listen to the podcast. If you can't, we'll just do the podcast.
Just listen to the rundown, baby.
Yeah.
Do it. We'll give it to you here, baby. Often it is audio only, I'm pretty sure, but I listen to it off YouTube. So I just came across the video on YouTube.
Yeah, me too.
I don't
It's
remember
the
what it was called.
HBO channel.
HBO channel. There you go. I don't remember this. Did Ellie do the face-off technique of twisting the knife so the wound won't close? I don't.
I just
know.
saw the knife. I just saw the knife.
Yeah, I just saw her stab him.
And
but
actually,
I think there's
with
a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I was just trying to say with the CC Toys one, Ellie, you get the knife as well. So
that's cool.
It's a cool little.
That's
thing.
cool. I love how Sarah looked at the knife at the start of the episode as well. That I don't know if that has any relevance, but she looked at Joel's knife.
It's a different knife, right?
I think so. I mean, it would have to be because Ellie's knife is her knife, and
it's a different knife.
I don't know why they showed her.
He has like a badass, maybe a veteran, maybe not veteran, but a badass. Backstory.
Well, when you see the sticker on the car, you think, oh, he's a combat veteran, possibly, or is that Tommy? Or Tommy was a combat veteran. Either way, maybe they both were.
Classic.
That's not a knife.
That's
a
not
classic.
A knife.
That's not a knife. Look, we know how to do it in Australia. This is a knife. Good old Paul Hogan. Man, he put Australia on the map. But I think there's a lot.
He actually did. Yeah.
He actually did, bro. He actually did. He was our prince for a while there. Now, I think there's a lot to digest from this because one, now I'm excited to see how she's going to react to Joel in the next episode. Is she going to be more attached to him already? Because they're a bit standoffish at first. Is that the moment that she's like now kind of attached to him and she's going to be warming to him? I can kind of see Tess being in the way of their love story, if that makes sense. I don't know why, but I don't see her having that attachment with Tess from what I've seen. I'm wondering if that's going to come into play. Again, no idea, but that's just a feeling I got from watching
Copy paste.
I feel like Tess is going to be the third wheel now. That's my thoughts. But another thing I wanted to touch on was
You will find out.
Damn it! Damn you, often. That's our catchphrase for this series. You'll find out.
Yeah, you will find out.
When they find out, so we haven't even talked about them actually finding out that she flashed red, so she is infected.
Yeah,
but she assures them that she hasn't turned. So my understanding is, watching it for the first time, as Empire Strikes Again would also be seeing it for the first time, is that she is infected, but she's immune, and she obviously holds the key to overcoming the fungus. Now, it's not a virus, so overcoming whatever it is. So there's something they need to do with her to get it to everybody so they don't turn into these things, is what I'm assuming. So that's the feeling I have. So she should be feeling pretty solid. Now, I'm assuming she knows, because she says, it's 3 weeks ago, I haven't turned yet, blah, blah, blah. Then coming back to this sign that, okay, it was on her arm, right? Because they've highlighted so hand 2 to 8 hours. So the fact that it's 3 weeks, do you want to elaborate on that? Because I don't know, but I'm assuming that's what.
You will find out.
Damn it. Look, I don't want to know, but I do want to know. I do, but I don't. I don't, but I don't, but do. I do, but I don't, but you don't, but also tell me because I want to know, but also don't because I don't want to know, and you need to.
I would say just don't look at clips of Left Behind.
Okay, no, I won't. I'm going to stay away from all that now. I want to experience it. I want to for the show, for the sake of this show, guys. I'm going to experience week to week as a new viewer coming in. So I'm not watching anything. I don't know anything. I'm not watching anything. Either way, if I did, I'd forget it anyway. So it doesn't matter. She's a child. She has a constant temperature, so the fungi can't survive.
Yeah, and she has a heart of ice, so. So the cordyceps can't survive in ice.
Has it got something to do with temperature? Interesting. Or is it something to do with her blood? I want to know why she's not infected.
I do,
but I don't. Yeah. I do, but I don't. Straight up. And I think that's it. Now, I did notice, I didn't take a picture of it because it was too dark, but when they walk off at the end after this and they haven't killed her and they've decided to continue forward, you see a monster on the roof to the top left roaring in the light when the lightning flashes on top of the buildings. You actually see a monster roaring up on top of the building. Did you guys see that? Did anybody see that?
I didn't.
Well, now you got to go back to the very sequence after this. Now I know what the monsters are called.
Dude, don't see
I just see a dream. I know. Well, guess what? I saw the monster. I saw that monster. I know what it's called. Go back to the scene when they walk off, and the music. I think the music comes on, the 80s music, which they set up perfectly by saying 80s is trouble. The 80s music comes on. That was classic. Great way to finish the episode because they literally.
So if often says you will hear it, then it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you will hear it. You hear it and you see it roaring on top of the building up to the top left. You see it in the flash of lightning to show you what's out there in the world. So Hawkeye did strike again. Thanks, friends.
He does. He does.
Look, I'm Hawkeye even when I'm not Hawkeye. Because I forget things, my enhanced sight. I have enhanced sight. Because
you can't shed the mental. I think that's it. I think your memory just took a hit in favor of the Hawkeyes. Yeah.
I just couldn't get a photo of it because it's far away. It just didn't look good. So I'm like, just screw it. I'll just leave it. But yeah, it's there. And that's it. That's it, guys. That is the show. I think anything else we want to touch on before we wrap up? Oh, our rating system. We need to give it a rating. Now, we
Yeah.
have gone with rating out of 5 fungi. Do we like that, or do we run with wrenches that Empire Strikes Again brought?
Ranges are always cool.
Spanners.
The spanners. We can use the spanners for everything.
Yeah, it's true.
You can also
so
go
if
for
you can-
bandages or scissors.
bandages, scissors. Damn, yeah.
You can do a lot.
5 out of 5 raisin cookies. Damn you,
Raisin
often. That's a good one
cookies.
too.
Broken
that's a good one.
watches.
Broken. Oh, don't. That's gonna make me cry.
Brickstones.
Broken watches. You need a hawk. Oh, I do need the hawk sound to play. That's a fantastic idea, Dougie. I'm gonna get a sound of a hawk screeching every time I find something. I'm gonna play that sound.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That's actually a great idea. There's actually one thing, a really important thing that I actually forgot to mention, guys. It's just this. Sorry, I couldn't go a whole show without doing it. I couldn't go a whole show without doing it. Waleed forever. Waleed for life. I do need the hawk sound. I'm going to find a hawk sound and just figure out a way to put it in here once I figure out how to do an intro to the show. So, wrenches. AJ likes wrenches. What? Anthony's literally finding hawk sounds right now.
I'm looking at hawk sounds.
5 truffles. Oh, Mike, that's solid, Mike. 5 out of 5 truffles. I like that. 5 out of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, FU.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Yeah. Yes! That's my sound. If I was going to be a superhero, I'd have to be a hawk guy. Straight up. Oh, shit. If you're tuning in for the first time, guys, I apologize. But Hawkeye, look, a Hawkeye must do. AJ agrees. That's a good sound. Wait till we get a show again with QR codes. We're going to be hearing that every episode, I tell you.
Yeah. I think
We need Wally to do it in the episode of The Last of Us. We so
YouTube
do.
has the ability to save clips, right? Oh.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I'll find a way.
Yeah.
I'll find a way. I'll make it happen. Butch gives it 5 out of 5, but I still hate zombies. Butch, you stick with us. We will help you overcome your fear of zombies. We got you. What is often saying? He's saying, oops, what the heck? He's vanished. This
Often
is
will be saying,
Springwatch
"You will
with
find out."
Bill- Yeah, that's his. That's Hawks having a stroke. That sounds about right. Oh man, that's a great Lukagi, man. You're fire, bro. You need to be a stand-up comedian. I tell you. I need that. I need that Hawk sound in my life. I'm gonna add that into my posing videos at the end, right at the end.
That would be so funny.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put my rating in because I think it was a 5 out of 5. I think we can all agree it was a 5 out of 5 episode, right?
Yeah.
Let me add my let me add my comment in. I'm going 5 out of 5 because I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to do 5 out of 5.
Look at look at Lukage's
Fine, guys.
raisin cookies.
What? Oh my god. Butch, it's mushrooms, not zombies. There you go. So look, just think about it as mushrooms, not zombies, Butch. It's all good.
It's mushrooms. Walking mushrooms. Running mushrooms.
Yeah. Raisin cookies, that's also a good one. I'm trying right now, but agree 5 out of 5. Oh, yes, actually, yes. You know how we do.
You know how we do.
I need to get a little hawk that will fly across the screen. If I could figure out a way to have a little hawk fly across the screen, like every time.
Preferably like an Atari one or a SNES one, like very pixelated.
Yes, I'll get Mila.
Rabbit
Mila could probably
mushrooms.
find it in.
Okay, that's
you
a good
know,
one.
Roblox
Ren's-
or Minecraft.
Yeah, that would be good. Renz has a good one. Rabbit mushrooms. 5 out of 5 rabbit mushrooms.
5 out of 5 rubber mushrooms. I love that.
Yeah, one of those.
Duck
Yeah.
Hunt. One of those. Yes.
Pixelated AF.
Well, I think we can agree it was a fantastic episode. I loved it. I'm super
Yeah.
hyped about this show. Let's remove that from here. I think I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see where the show goes. Oh, look at that. He's given us 5 out of 5.
Oh, that's cool.
Boom. Thank you, sir. Is that a hawk? Yeah, I'm blind.
It is.
For
5 out of 5
someone,
hawks.
for someone who thinks they're a hawk, I can't see shit. That's the ironic part of it. That's hawks. Damn it. What are we doing?
Dude,
What are we doing? We're losing.
I would get into a Patreon just
Wait,
to see that.
I'm
Have Mila throw a toy hawk at you at the ending of the stream. Like this. Flop.
She will. Mila's awake. She's awake now. She just looked at me like, "What are you doing?"
Just
So
twack
she
me in
probably
the
will
head.
throw a hawk at me if I keep going too long.
Yeah.
Release the non-quantum realm Anthony room tour.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
we still haven't seen that.
this
So
this
speaking
room
of,
is
let's get
so
into it.
messed up. If you look over there, it's only trash and boxes of figures and whatnot. So I can't do a room tour. I can do separate
Yeah.
shelves. I could do that.
Can't do it just yet. Now, subscribe to Anthony Figure Posing channel on YouTube and Instagram, and 6 Scale Poses on Facebook. Everybody, I'll put on there. That's the best one. I like that one. I like that one. I love that one. What do you got coming up on the channel next, Anthony? Let's wrap this up. 'cause I
Yeah,
feel
like
my
I
internet's
say, I'm
starting to
pretty
freeze,
I'm pretty busy with work, and I think it's February. It's calming down a bit, but
Yeah.
I think I'm going to finish the Venomized Iron Man one, and then I don't know.
Nice.
I do know that I have this campy Batman and Robin set picked up, and I'm going to use that for the ending of every video, I think.
That would be awesome.
We'll see.
I would love to see a Joel and Ellie posing showcase now. I mean, you've got them right there.
Yeah, maybe
Damn.
that would be relevant. But I'm really dying to do Captain America because I'm really excited to do that video because the posing on those wings,
Yeah.
they look like hawk wings, to be honest. So we can get some cool sound
They do.
effects of a hawk.
They do. They do. I'll hold him like this, just flying him around like, caw, caw,
Caw, caw, caw.
in the video. Caw, caw, caw.
So I think since
He does look
from
phenomenal.
February
I
on, I
cannot
think
wait.
I'll pick up doing videos again, and also it'll be posing
Nice.
videos with everything. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I cannot wait. I can't wait. I think we're all going to have to do videos.
Thanks,
on,
Elfin, thanks.
Darkman. Yeah, look at him. Spanner Boy coming in with
All
with
the
the
links.
goods. Go click on all of them. All the links, all the things. Man, see, this is where you redeem yourself often. You've redeemed yourself
He
well, sir.
does.
He does redeem himself well. So I'm looking forward to that. Go hop onto Anthony's channel. Check out his shorts as well. He's got shorts. He's got posing videos. It's where I steal all my poses from. Do you have a clicker? I bet you Anthony has about
2.
15 clickers.
Yeah, I have 2
Yeah, he's got
clickers,
3.
but I thought not to spoil anything because they haven't mentioned
Yeah,
the
I
clickers yet,
know.
right? So
I
that's
haven't yet, but I've seen pictures. I've seen pictures of them. I do know. I've seen the pictures. Now, what have I got going on the channel? Who knows what I've got going on?
What do you have on the
Me
channel,
and
John?
Liz. What do I have going on? I'm currently. I don't know. What am I doing? Let's put up my little banner down here. I forget. So let's put that one up. So coming up, I'm working on a quarter scale Mark 42 figure posing showcase. You will find out. Which I haven't started yet. I've got to figure out how to film it because he's a big boy. Yeah, take that often. How about take that often? You'll find out. You'll find out, bro.
He was just being kind. He's setting us up to do it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
What's a
Thanks.
clicker?
Thanks for the setup.
He knows. He obviously knows. It's a layup.
He
Thank
knows.
you.
He knows. Yeah.
What else we got going on next weekend? So for members only. So I have a channel membership now for those who know. We've got a few of you guys here in the channel. Nearly all of you guys here in here tonight.
Yeah. Become part of
Next
the Iron
Saturday,
Legion.
part of the Iron Legion. So we have the Iron Legion. We are doing our Pose and Chill next Saturday, my time, which would be Friday night for a lot
Oh,
of
it's
you
next
guys.
Saturday. Cool.
That's next Saturday, mate. That's where we hang out. We pose some figures.
Hmm.
I don't know what I'm going to pose yet. I may try and pose up. Actually, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to pose up. I'm going to play with something. We're going to get some. Hopefully, you have Captain America by
Maybe.
then, and you can
Maybe
pull him
you
out.
can
It'd be cool.
pose up Hawkeye.
Ooh. I could pose up Hawkeye. Maybe I could. So we're going to be doing that next weekend. Then we're back for episode 2 of the rundown next Sunday, episode 2. So I can't wait for that. But all this week, literally, I'm just going to be working on my Mark 42 posing showcase, trying to figure out how to. Mila's here. She's literally right here, you little punk. She's. I'm going to be working on how to pose up this quarter scale figure. It is phenomenal. The details are amazing. I'm blown away. It's the first quarter scale Iron Man I've gotten. So I have a quarter scale Spidey, quarter scale Mando, finally a quarter scale Iron Man, 3 of my favorite characters. Now I just need a quarter scale Captain America, and I think I'll be set with quarter scales.
That would be cool. But can I just take a minute to go back to Pose and Chill? Because Pose and Chill must be the coolest thing on YouTube.
Oh, thank you.
Or not YouTube, but in this realm of 1/6 posing or figures or whatever. Because
really, you think that?
I think no one does that, right? And it's so cool to see it, to actually meet everyone, and just hang out and enjoy what we love to do.
Yeah, that's the fun part. Like, that's what I feel like this is. We get to just hang out and chill and talk, but this way we get to just pose up figures. It just gives us something fun to do, to tinker, to play. I love it. So I love seeing everybody
actually
there
get to know
time.
everyone.
Yeah. It's like a book club in a way.
Yeah,
or like a club. Not
it is.
a book club, but a posing club, figure club, if you want to call it that way. So yes, if you're interested in supporting the channel, you can become a member of the Iron Legion. It's a shameless plug, but we get to hang out. I try to give some. You get a Facebook group that we share stuff on, things like that. I never thought I'd do a Facebook group, but I love our Facebook group of all 10 of us, and we just get to share our pictures and chat and things like that. I do need to be more active on there. I do acknowledge that. But just starting a new business has been quite busy, so I will do my best to share more behind the scenes of Iron Man, because I've got to figure out how to pose him up, and he's going to be a challenge. John has a mutant. He has 3 hands. Yeah, that's the ISB agent who's invading the area. If something falls over, it's because we have an intruder right now.
The ISB agent. Yeah.
The ISB agent. There she is. Little punk. I gotcha. Anthony's biggest fan is here. You're waiting
Hi,
for
Mila.
Anthony. Anthony says, hello, Mila. If my modular cases would ever show up, I'll have a lot more to pose up. Awesome, AJ. I can't wait. Look, you'll probably get them at least another year or so. I mean, you'll be ready in a year
2025,
or so. By the time
at least.
that stream I scheduled yesterday on Insta shows up, you'll have your modular cases.
It's the unboxing.
It's the unboxing, 11 months away. So tune in. Renz is saying, John and add Hawk sounds when you're making posing showcases of Captain America. Definitely. I probably won't get mine for a while because accidentally, the absolute gazelle that I am, I ordered the second batch when I did it because I'm an idiot. So I'll be waiting a little while. Unless I get 2, don't tell Lani. If I get a second one, I might go first batch. We'll see. Don't snitch. You want a puppy, right?
Snitches get stitches.
You want a puppy? You keep that a secret. That's deal made. You see it live.
Puppies of
live
snitches
on
get
YouTube.
stitches.
Yeah. She wants a puppy. You want a puppy? Daddy gets a second Captain America. Let's get you started. Oh, man. AJ says next month. We're getting a thumbs up for that. There you go.
Cool.
Thumbs up. Yes, you're part of the gang now. Don't tell mum. Hashtag don't tell mum. It's supposed to be next month too. I've needed them since October. Yeah, man, that's kind of how it is. Yeah. Mum was like 6-7 months late, so I don't want to. I tell you what, AJ, actually, I emailed and complained. If they're late, email and complain, and then they magically were ready to go like a day later.
Wow.
So you never know. If you email and
That's
go,
weird.
it's been a certain time past the date, I'm not impressed. They actually literally like the next day or so, they're like, oh, we found them, they're ready, we'll be sending them out to you, blah blah blah. So maybe try that. Hashtag don't tell mum, straight up. Brutal. But yes, guys, let's wrap it up. Otherwise, we'll drag on forever. Next week, Pose and Chill for channel members. Make sure you're there. 6 a.m. Western Standard Time. So same time as we always do it for the guys who regularly come. Check the Facebook group, though. I'll put a link and I'll put time zones and everything again. Mark 42 showcase coming. I will be doing some more shorts. I'm trying to figure out how to use this Infinity Ultra. Every time I try to take a picture or video, because it's mirrored, I see myself in the phone, and I hate seeing myself in the phone in the shot. So I've got to figure out actually how to do that. And then we'll be doing more shorts on the channel. But I've got, I'm probably not going to do Chrome Mando until Mando Season 3 starts. So I'm calculated like that. I'm going to do the Mando showcase when Mando season starts. I'm going to do the Miles and Gwen showcase when the new film comes out. So I'll push those showcases back. I'm going to work on the 42 showcase first. And then I'm going to wait for some more Spider No Way Home figures to come in before I do the integrated suit. So we'll see.
Can you also tell us more about the Posed Up roster?
Posed Up roster. Oh, yes. Yeah,
that seems pretty exciting.
Yes, we've got a few guests coming in the coming months. We're going to have Yost from Jazz Inc. Dioramas coming in. I'm looking forward to chatting to him. I want to chat to him about his creative process. I'm really interested about how he does everything and why he does everything. So that's what I want to do with him. Hopefully I have Boston Collectors on the Posed Up soon. Blue Tattoo will be coming on. We were meant to do that a few weeks ago, but scheduling. Reagan from MRC Collection Ventures. If you haven't seen his reviews, they're some of my favorite. The way he goes in depth of playing around with the figure and working on all the things that he works on. I'm really excited to talk to him. So we'll have him hopefully on the show soon. Cool. I found out he's actually a really good dancer. He does he's like a breakdancer. He's an amazing dancer, man. He's phenomenal.
Didn't he do bells before? I don't know,
but I saw a clip of him dancing, and he is freaking professional level dancer. So I'm looking forward to chatting to him. Who else? Hopefully soon I'm going to have a director on the show. I don't know if it'll be a Posed Up. It might be a new show that I'm going to be starting called The Top Shelf, where I talk to creators and artists and things. But potentially we'll have a director coming on who also collects things. Named Tom. So I'll let you guys know more as that comes along. But a lot of guests lined up, lots of things happening. It's just finding the time to do it is the slow progress of things. So lots coming on the channel, live interviews, posing showcases, live streams, all that stuff's coming this year. We'll be upgrading the streaming content. I'm about to upgrade to the professional on StreamYard. We'll add a second camera. There's lots of stuff coming, guys. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all for coming. Anthony, a pleasure as always. I had a great time today. Everybody in the chat, all you guys, good to see some new faces in that. Good to see all you regulars come back. It's always look forward to this show. It's so fun, and I can't wait to experience The Last of Us with all you guys as we go on. It's freaking exciting. I'm so hyped for tomorrow to get home and watch the episode. I cannot wait. So we can get back and talk about it next week. Appreciate it, William. Last Spider-Man showcase. Appreciate it, mate. Yes, more Spidey stuff coming. A lot more Spidey stuff. I might even do a new room tour soon because I've got so many new figures in. I'm going to change up the whole display. So we'll look at doing that. But yeah, lots to come. Anthony, any final words before we log out, mate?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I've got to get that off you. I've got to get that off you. We'll end with that. See you next time, guys. Everybody in the chat, you're all freaking legends. Till next week. Have a great